Peace. Oops. Forgot the other finger. No shade, really. Really, no shade. Didn't mean to do that. Too funny. It's been a crazy day. Totally giddy and totally leveling up. We're going to talk about one of my favorite things, soul blueprints. I'm just going to let it flow. I usually do like a couple of pages of notes when I do my live. But this time I'm just going to let it flow. I'm just trusting. I've got a lot of source working through my body, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about when you go through an upgrade, kind of what that feels like. It is, again, based on your soul blueprints, divine timing. When you've done a lot of the clearing, the stuff that you've been working on, your clearing is equal to the amount of light, the amount of energy, and the oscillation of who you are as becoming light. So again, it's all encompassing as a multidimensional experience. And why you're going to find yourself letting go of the things that you thought you needed, the thought that you had in your environments, the food that you're eating, the things that you're drinking. All of those things affect the amount of light and how you're able to oscillate as energy. And so you're going to find that it's a multidimensional experience, that as you're going up these new rungs of energy, vibrational, dimensional timeline experience, you're going to allow yourself to kind of expand. Ascension is a contraction expansion. So as you're releasing that density, you get to expand out as a being of consciousness. So that's essentially you as this multidimensional being of matter and spirit. If you're working with spirit in all of the moments that you can and are, then you're allowing yourself to become more and more an entrained being of higher vibrational experience. Again, you have to entrain yourself to be that higher vibrational being, because we're all healing 3D to 5D, 51% of our own karma, which is really old, limiting, fear-based experiences of behaving and patterning. And it's all karmic. Karmic patterning is what we see unfolding in the world right now, is a lot of the corruption, deceit, and all of those experiences that were okay to run within. Many of the communities have been allowing themselves to be steeped in corruption, and humanity has been okay in allowing it. And so part of your clearing of your own karma, and part of what we talked about last on our last video, is the importance of you taking that moment for moment ownership of that contraction and expansion of being a higher and trained being, in that this is the reality that you're creating. So if you know that there's things in your community, if there's things in your house, if there's things that are going on that are not of the highest benevolence, and you're honoring, taking note, and taking responsibility and accountability for the first two laws of the universal love light, you're showing your teams and you're showing God, you're showing the universe that you want to be a part of this ride with that intention. Just to say, I'm going to take part in these universal laws for a week and see how I can better incorporate myself as a consciously awake being. Therefore, you're manifesting as a consciously awake being. And that lets spirit know that you're on board with the path of ascension and the unity and oneness, integration, and the assimilation of us becoming a new earth experience into that galactic cosmic experience. Everybody every day is being bathed with more and more light. Our planet is being bathed with more and more light. The forests are being bathed with more and more light. And so the more that you can participate and entrain and practice as being a higher vibrational being, meaning that contraction and expansion of who you are as this matter vessel, everything that is matter is still spirit. There's consciousness in it, which we're going to talk about in a second, which is so very exciting. It's a huge, vast topic. And as I learn more, and just softening into what I know about genetics, because my teams had shown me that I do a seventh dimensional version of me is a geneticist on a light ship, and I'm working with genetics all the time. And it is a part of my excitement here, because it can assist us in healing a lot of the patterns, a lot of the karmic habitual experiences that we've allowed ourselves to kind of exist within. We don't really need to. It's just like, moving around codes and moving around navigational blockages. And we can all do that. We can all choose to intend to behave in this way. And that's really, really exciting. We can allow ourselves to be absolutely 100% a part of our own evolutionary process. That is what's really exciting. And if you watch the Gaia channel, I don't watch it. I used to have a subscription a long, long time ago. But there's more and more shows on that Gaia channel that talk about the consciousness and the evolution of who we are within our health systems, and really expanding on that. So I'm not the only one that's talking about the consciousness of our health, how our consciousness in and of all things, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, is all a level of consciousness. Everything that we are is now becoming more harmonized. The more intentional you are in living in your higher self, in the grounding and the centering of who you are as the higher self, which is everything that we teach, can absolutely allow you not only the highest vibrational timeline, but it can allow you youthfulness. It can allow you to, stop the aging process. It can allow you to heal anything that comes up in your daily life as far as the karmic patterns, the curses and the hexes and the limitations that your lineages have given you, that mantle, if you will, for you to carry forward and transmute and transcend. And you're going to find those recognitions in, the things that you notice in your family that continually happen over and over again. And we always notice that at holiday season time, because the holiday season time allows us to see, oh my gosh, is this happening again? All of those family things that come up are there for you because you've noticed it, you've recognized it, but you also have a part in playing in infusing light and infusing a new higher vibrational thought potential. And so every moment is that divine relationship, which is one of the most powerful things that we teach in Ascension. And that's how you become a conscious creator for spirit, for the heavens, for the councils, for your soul lineage, all that you are as a soul, the pods that you belong to, the beings that you belong to, the fractals of your higher self that you belong to that are incorporating become the sheaths. And we talk about that in our class. Our next class is on November 11th. So if you'd like to come and join us for that class, just email me and send a payment. They're $33 for that class. And in that, you get to recognize how you're paying a higher vibrational version of yourself, I guess. And that's what you're becoming, is the higher self. And the more that you practice the higher vibrational sheaths, those sheaths are like codes. They're experiences of you becoming more experiential. So you're becoming more and more aligned with who you are meant to be at the highest version. Now, because everybody's on a different dimensional platform, a different dimensional bandwidth, you have to clear whatever is in that bandwidth before you move into a new one. You've moved into a new one, and we've talked about this before as a part of your soul's blueprint. When you're taking everything that comes before you that you're manifesting, everything that comes before you that you've chosen to take on, and you can even ask for different things. If you want to work on certain things with your teams and with your guides, you can say, can I have an experience where you send me experiences to work with patience and tolerance? And spirit will help align that for you, and your guides will help navigate those beings that you are most challenged with to incorporate your higher vibrational behaviors, your higher vibrational and trained behaviors, because you want to be aligned consciously, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually with everything that you've learned in that last past cycle. So everything in our evolutionary experience, and we see things purging and being pulled and culled right now, because we're going into a very important part of our year where we're closing off all karmic old cycles. So it's very important for those that are really wanting to tap into their soul's blueprint, really want to align for 2024. It's going to be a really, really powerful year for you to manifest a higher vibrational plane of manifestation between you and your teams and your guides to get a really closer experience in participation and engagement with your guides and with God, and really start directing and intending and directing and focusing your whole vessel of multidimensionality into a timeline that was really benevolently serving you, meaning that you're going to be receiving nourishment from those, not just you giving and not just you doing a lot of the work which divine feminine are used to, but divine feminine are actually going to be pulled up, and we're going to be on the higher plane because we've done a lot of the healing. We're more intuitively awake and aligned. We've done a lot of the practicing and a lot of the letting go, if you will, and we know how to guide people through, the darker experiences, like, dark night of the soul, if you will. So we've been practiced at kind of doing that. We've been practiced at the release process, the shadow, the dark shadow stuff. And nobody's going to get away with it. Everybody has to own their shadow. Everybody has to own the parts that have been really, really disruptive. You have to earn that right to face it and say, I can get through this disruption. And we do that a lot, and we acknowledge it and we accept it a lot when we're at those, the times where we get together with family, and learning how you can just center yourself and breathe and do a lot more of centered breathing and infuse peace within the experience. You know, if your family is having a discussion and you notice those same things that occur, because they're just usually when people have been around each other a lot and they're very karmic relationships, the patterns just run cyclically. And that's why everybody knows that at family gatherings, there's usually the same things that happen, because the beings and the molecules just end up fitting into their normal patterns. You have the ones that always clean up after dinner. You have the ones that never clean up after dinner. They always just fit back into their regular routine and patterns. So this is where taking your own claiming of your voice, your choice, and your power and your light, reclaiming all that you are, setting your boundaries so that you're not going to do any more than what you're giving, and you're setting those clear boundaries. What are you going to give? How are you going to give? And who are you going to give it to? That changes the karmic pattern, and all of those little molecules that are then around you have to, they have to wake up, and they have to say, okay, well, she's not giving anymore, we're not getting light from her anymore, we have to actually clean up the plates after dinner. They're all now knowing that no, everybody's got to chip in. And so a lot of you, the patterns have to change. And that comes from within you knowing and staking claim, becoming very aware of your actions and your behaviors. And are you consciously aware that you're creating the new earth? You're very aware of the patterns that you're manifesting. You're very aware of those that you choose to be around, offer in, and invite in. And then you're very aware of the ones that you just don't invite in, because you know that it's just a lot of giving and a lot of draining and a lot of problems and a lot of drama. So really begin to release those off, because this is the time of year where you get to close all of those karmic patterns off, because you've shown spirit, no, I'm worthy of better relationships. I'm worthy of relationships that don't take and steal and do spell casting on me and all of the things that are in those corruptive environments. And the more that each person does that, and understanding the vibrational experiences and their needs in those corruptive environments, the needs in the corruptive environments is the wounded experience, and they're living from a lot of their ego, a lot of their wounding, the lack of sense of self, the no sense of self. A lot of them have entity attachments. A lot of them are really steeped within their wounding because they're not facing their inner child wounding. They're not facing their Akashic timeline wounding. And so it's a lot of narcissistic feeding. And of course, we all know that the narcissistic feeding is impossible to fulfill. You never do anything right. You never get anything full. It's always a constant taking and suffocating and vampiric kind of experience. And you have to understand the diagnoses behind those experiences and what they're feeding and what and why and how they behave in the way that they do. That requires you to have and maintain very strong boundaries, to really cut the cords telepathically, psychically, sexually, metaphysically, in every way, so that regardless of how they take their energy and how they harvest the energy, because some do it through spell work, some do it through manipulation, some do it through business and other things, those that know how to use black occult magic, just knowing how to set those boundaries. That's why what we've taught is always reclaiming your power, understanding who you are as a multidimensional being, especially if you're women and you have knowing or understanding of elitism type of communities where it's very, very superficial. It's very, very lower vibrationally focused on the outer experience, on the stuff and the gaining and all of the competition and all that kind of stuff. That's a very low vibrational, egoically, superficially driven experience. And there are a lot of elitist, occult type of groups and covens and Masonic experiences. And a lot of them run in bidding systems. We've talked about it on a lot of our videos. We're just going to talk about it very quickly because it is a part of the soul blueprint. And they come with a lot of lineages attached to other universes. And attached to your karmic lineages to break those curses and hexes for you to stand fully in your power. You are a very powerful person if you know or you've experienced those Masonic cults and covens and witchery and warlockery. And if they're not following the first two laws, then it's up to you and everybody, as we said earlier. If you notice something going on in your community and you're doing nothing, that is still adding karma to your karmic 51%. So not only do you have to clear your 51%, plus you're adding karma, because you know that there's something in front of you that you have every right to heal, to change, to bring up, to do something about. When you're consciously awake, that is your go point. That's your let's go. That's your green light. That's showing spirit that in every moment your guides are looking and watching and being with you on this path. Are you abiding by the laws of right use of free will and non-interference? Non-interference means that you're not forcing your will upon another. You're not forcing spell work on another. You're not blocking one another. You're not taking from one another. You're not harming one another. Again, the 10 Commandments kind of thing. when we say interference, is that if you know that there's deceit and thievery and corruption going on in your community and you do nothing about it, that is still your karma, because there is something that you can do about it, and you can infuse positivity. You can infuse your will, thy will be done, to create a safer, more peaceful community. When you are acting in the benevolence of the first two laws, you will always, 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 always. And if it aligns with the truth of who you are, when you know that there is a truth that you should be speaking on and you don't do it, then spirit will not support that, because spirit is saying you have everything within you to speak on your truth. These are your gifts to speak on your truth. It adds to your environment as the community of a positivity of oneness and alignment. If you know that there's things that you could be doing and speaking and adding and offering to the positivity of the community, to the positivity of you, becoming more of your higher self, becoming more of a truthful community person, the higher laws of oneness, and you don't do it, then there is no support for you, because you're not stepping forward to do what's right for you in your community. If you do something and you say, hey, I've noticed this, you go to the police station, you talk to somebody because you're concerned, and the universe will absolutely support you. So you don't have to have fear about what if somebody finds out. No, you'll be supported, because a lot of the underground cults and groups and Masonic experiences, they work through a lot of the deconstruction of the sense of self. Go back on my video that says, I think the title is You Are Supported. And I go into a lot about the mind scraping and how a lot of these underground groups and the human testing groups have been working with targeting certain light workers and targeting those of light, preying on the vulnerable. And then they use intimidation tactics. And they use, romance schemes where, the men go out and they're very elite men and they prey on women to get them pregnant so that they can bid on the baby. They can bid on the womb. They can bid on the people that they bring into their pyramid scheme. And most often than not, the women don't even know about it. They just think they're being approached by these men that want to take care of them. So really be discerning. Anybody that gets you into that codependency type of thing, oh, I want to look after you. You just stay home and have my babies and I'll look after you type of thing. And meanwhile, it's an entire Masonic, thing where they're doing bidding and sacrificing on the children in the home. So just know that absolutely goes on. It goes on in every community. And that's how the Masonics kind of, they don't know what they're doing. They're working on a false sense of illusion of power and entitlement. They have no idea about universal laws. They have no idea about what they're doing and how they're harming and damaging their lineage and the people they bring in and their karma. So just know that if you know things like that are going on, and you know that the husbands are slipping away for 15 minutes here and there, and there's always that back and forth, and they're going out to get groceries and they never come back, and they come back without groceries. There's stuff going on, so those are the red flags, and call it. Spirit will always protect you. When you're doing what is right for you, when you are doing what is right for the greater good, Spirit will always protect you. You will have extra angels. So you don't ever have to give your power away or not do something, or fear of doing something, thinking that, oh, they have a community of people and they're gonna follow me and stalk me and they're gonna intimidate me. No, it's just been me all by myself. And I've gone up with everybody that's tried to stalk me and intimidate me, coming into my class as a fake client and trying to throw their demons around. So don't, Spirit was with you. You'll have extra archangels stand by you. You'll have extra archangels in your teams, and that's your working with who you are, and you're activating and being absolute participation with your higher soul blueprint. You're saying, no, I'm going to walk in my truth. When I walk in my truth, the universe converges. Those are the universal laws. It is no different than if you absolutely know that there's things going on and you're calling it and you're being, because what they normally do in those experiences, and that's what they call the deconstruction of sense of self, is they then deflect it and throw it back at you and blame you and call you crazy and say, no, that's not happening, and blah, blah, blah. We all know that. That's just narcissistic deflection. And that's how a lot of the Masonic groups work. They work in a whole bidding system of power, entitlement, degradation to the similitude of peace and truth and justice. And that is exactly what goes on in the underground sex trafficking, human trafficking, enslavement experiences, is the deconstruction of self. They've got people in all aspects of the systems. They've got people in official, judicial, banking. They've got people everywhere. But if you're standing in your truth and saying, no, that wasn't right, I brought that up to the police a while ago and nothing was done about it, follow up. The teams and the angels are supporting everybody that is choosing to make positive, loving action for change. So you'll have extra guides. You'll have the angels working with you. And again, when you're working in the highest benevolence of you and something is happening in your community, in your house, that is not okay, and you've brought it up several times, and nothing is being done but denial and deflection and, abhorrence to your life path, you can call in your teams and extra guides to say, I'm going to be leaving and moving on. Please allow me clearance way, and the teams will clear the way for you to move forward. Because the teams would never want you to stay in communities that degrade you, that defile you, that take from you, that steal from you, and you end up with nothing while, the corrupt people, continue to gather more and more people to corrupt, because it's all about payment systems. They pay to do very horrible things. They pay to lie, they pay to falsification of signatures, falsification of, claims. I mean, it's ridiculous, the amount of corruption that goes on. What was done on my one case of a human experience was so discriminatory, was so defaming to who I am as a being of spirit. And there's extra spirit angels and there's extra beings in the systems that work with me. There's archangels and there's angels and earth angels that work in the systems to bring forward truth. Even if these people are doing black magic against me having justice or me having fairness, there is 10 times, if not 100 times more beings working on behalf of those that are trying to correct and heal and pull out and cull corruption. So make sure you call it. You will be protected. You will be supported. You will be answering and honoring what you've said you've come here to do. When you act in honor of your soul's blueprint, you affect the vibration of you, which is what they told me, the vibration of you. And every time you align in truth, that alignment of truth clarifies and heals and aligns your chakra systems and who you are as a being of light. This alignment of life, standing in your truth, it radiates extra light and it pulsates who you are as a being. That's where the heavens has always told me. You'll be known by your light because you're standing in your truth, regardless of what anybody else says. You're coming forward with positive interaction, positive participation, positive engagement about who you are in the collective oneness. You are a being of multidimensional light. Your soul blueprint is to align with your highest truth. Your highest truth is here to state who you are as a being. Who are you? The number one question of all self-actualization. The number one question of who you are as a divine being in human form. And you're here to let go of all the limiting, low vibrational, fear-based enslavement projects that are going on right now. And a lot of the enslavement projects that are going on right now will test you. Are you going to do what's right when the time is called? Are you going to do what's right when you're standing in your power and your truth to say what's going on when you know what's going on because your intuition is showing you and telling you? You have dreams about it. Your teams are showing you. Your guides are showing you. And you have to take positive, loving action. And so you're the one that has to step forward and say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And you come forward and you infuse light and you infuse truth and you stand in that power because that power, again, radiates light to the entire system that before you is corrupt and dark. So your light is going to be very needed. Your light and your truth is going to be very needed because you don't know that maybe 6-10 people before you in that whole month before you had similar complaints, had similar stories about the similar transactions going on in your community. And again, when you do stand up in your light and your truth, you're radiating that as a DNA code and upgrade to the children because their contract with you, every child that you're contracted with, everyone that is in your reality on an ongoing basis, those are soul contracts that you've had in the highest level of your soul blueprint to be your highest version of you. When you radiate your highest version of you, who are you, what do you exist within, and what exists within you, when you know that you're consciously walking as that, when you radiate that sense of clarity, when you radiate that sense of confidence, when you know who you are and you're speaking as God, those allow those activations to happen in those that are around you. And why those of us that are conduits and empaths and crystals, we radiate those vibrational multidimensional codes and it sends a truth ripple. It sends vibrations of accuracy and refinement of beingness to those that need it because they've been so very stenched in dark and thick and dense karmic experience, and they hang around people that are very negative and gossipy and very degrading to humans. So you have to choose again. Your soul blueprint is challenging you at every new day. Can I step into a higher state of being? And why journaling and doing the daily self-love, daily self-work is so important because you get to define yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. How are you going to harmonize into a higher version of you? So really work with that breath work with affirmations, work with directing and intending and focusing your energy to higher vibrational experiences because you're the one that's manifesting it and creating it. You're manifesting your next reality that you're stepping on. And God and the team showed me, they showed me recently that those that have been doing spell work and those that have been thinking that they're on the fence and they have a long time to kind of work with these corrupt systems, Um, they're taking off all support and protection, and the entities that they're conjuring for others, the black magic they're conjuring for others to block them and to inhibit them, whatever is going on in the underground corrupt, their guides and the people that they have been working with to try and allow them to waken up, to try and allow them to return to their higher self as light, and to self-love, to self-care and self-honor, all of those things that we do as self-actualizing beings, waking up to who you are as a being of light. They're going to not be protected anymore. And so that's why there's going to be a lot of karma that will be very harsh, that we'll all see kind of unfold in the underground and the corrupt aspects of our communities. Because Spirit has given everybody enough time to kind of return and alter course, to treat people with kindness and respect and care, because how you put out your energy and how you treat people will return. And those people that continue to refuse to respect the laws of the universe, they're no longer going to be protected. So when they're doing the conjuring and when they're doing the spell work, regardless of whether they think they're doing a protection spell on themselves to not be affected, whether their abundance is not to be affected, they're absolutely going to be affected in every way. And so Spirit has said that this will be the pulling out of all of those that have chosen to not abide by the laws and the rules of oneness. Everybody's given opportunities and chances to return to self, to claim their part of the Ascension ride, to claim those soul fragments to become higher vibrational energies of oneness. And so all of those experiences help us understand this is a journey of oneness. When we have first contacts and first landings, we have to know how to treat ourselves with the highest version of love, allowing ourselves to release all those low vibrating patterns of limitation, of defragmenting who we have been, and harmonizing all of those aspects. Because when they stand before us, they're standing at a higher vibrational experience of unconditional love. And we have to be able to process that. So to do that, you have to stand within that yourself. It's just like you can't expect to manifest a really benevolent, loving partner when you don't treat yourself very well, when you don't hold yourself very well, when you're giving your power away and your voice away to others, or you're following and copying others and you have no idea who you are. So you have to, again, do the daily inner work. That's what Ascension work is all about. It's about aligning with your soul's blueprint. Your soul's blueprint is unlike anybody else's. So connect with who you are within. And when you are standing in your truth and you are doing what is right, again, you're bringing up what is for the greater good of all, then you're allowing those teams and the heavens and the angels and your supporters and your ancestors to walk with you in that. So don't ever be in fear of anybody coming after you or targeting you or intimidating you and all the crap that goes on in those underground experiences and the Mean Girls Club, because they're going to be getting their equal retribution from everything that they send out. There is no more protection. And so we've been talking about this for 2 years. So just know that, and you're going to get their protection. So just know that when you act on benevolency of the greater good, when you are acting in the kindness and the goodwill to all, and you're stating what is going on in front of you, you're stating what is going on within your household, you've done what you can do, then you hand it over and you seek the appropriate help within your communities and the outreach. And keep doing it, because there's corruption within the systems that we've created. But the more that each and every one of us act in the highest level of benevolence, and again, always check in with your guides and your higher self. What is my part in this transaction? But you always know within your gut, no, I need to bring this up. When that is your inner well and your inner stirring, you have to bring it up. Don't let anything slide, because that's your karma. That's the platform that your children will say, well, Mom, you didn't bring it up. So what do you, your children rely on you to be your highest and your highest vibrational self. Your highest vibrational self is showing them, no, you can walk in your truth. God will support you. God will enlighten you. God will make sure the way is cleared for you, because God is giving you that authority for the higher integrous, the higher moral ground. Because there's so many people that are not working within any integrity at all. So many people have no boundaries because they've been in abusive homes. They've been in abusive experiences, and they continue the abusive cycles. And that's okay. Let them have their karmic cycles and let them work out their karma. You're not there to work out their karma. So you have to be very clear and set your boundaries. No, I'm not going to work on those issues. Those are your issues. You need to go and heal those issues about your insecurity, your lack of self, your projections, your deflections, and all of those things. That's for them to work on. That's not your role. But you can only do that when you know who you are. No, I absolutely very firm with what I've said, with what I've done, I said what I said. No, there is no going back and forth. There is no more boundary breaking anymore. So Spirit wanted to make that very clear to everyone. There is no more boundary breaking. Light workers are setting boundaries, and there is no more boundary breaking. Because the light workers deserve to have peace. Light workers deserve to go about their way. Light workers deserve to walk in peace and honor in who they are without being targeted constantly, relentlessly, without being relentlessly bombarded with spell work, without being relentlessly taken advantage of, without being relentlessly stolen from, without having relentless schemes and towering moments of worry and stress and emotional distress about corrupt groups trying to silence them, trying to, take them and break them down. So just know that those people will not be supported and they will have no protection. So whatever it is they're conjuring, those conjured energies will go directly back to them. It doesn't matter how much protection they think they have, because spirit is no longer protecting them. And so just know that. Just know that there's a slowly cutting off, because we are at the end of the year, but you have to also, your soul blueprint is to stand in your power, to stand in your light, to stand in your truth every day. The more that you stand in your truth, that, again, as we said, that pillar of light that runs up and down is your center of truth. No, this is my truth, and this is what I am, and this is who I know I am. I say what I say. There's no going back and forth. You're not gonna put your story on me. I know my story. You say whatever you want, but I'm not taking your story on. And a lot of narcissists, a lot of corruptive communities, they do that. They know how to do that. They know how to start switching their story in for you, and they start feeding false narratives. That's how come a lot of people that are not, people that don't understand consciousness, people that don't understand black magic, people that don't understand mind scraping, people that don't understand how people use and abuse energy. There are very good manipulators. They're con artists. They know how to work the magic of words so that they twist stories around and everybody in the circle is confused. That's how you know the devil is at work. Because when the devil is at work, everybody's confused and they forget who they are, because they're not strong in their sense of self. They forgot what their story is. They forgot who their sense of self is. They forgot what their sense of light is. And that's why those of you that have been with me for many, many years, you've been very much very devoted to practicing your sense of truth, your sense of light. This is my story. Doesn't matter who's before you and how corrupt they are, how deep pockets they are, how many times they practice in front of the mirror their corrupt false story. You're standing there in truth and you will pierce through it. Because a false ass person that's practiced their little speech 100,000 times in front of a mirror has no bearing and has no power over the light that one is. When you stand in your full consciousness of the higher self, as God, boom, that darkness can't even stand. And that darkness will be all confused inside of itself because it doesn't know who it is. And it's had to practice that as a mental repetition, but that mental repetition gets broken because that's what that light does. That's why the corrupt communities are falling. That's why the karma is being backlashed. That's why the karma is being backfired, because there's no support now. There is no protection for them. There isn't. If you don't follow the first two laws of the universal laws of oneness, if you're not following those two laws, anything that you do is now your karma. Everybody on the planet, 51% of karma from 3 to 5D. So if you're moving forward, not interfering with everybody, you're not going in other people's lanes, you're honoring everybody's free will, you're doing the best you can to align with light, to align with treating people with kindness, you're calling things when you see it, that is living in truth, that is living in the story of oneness. And if you're messing with people's lives intentionally, if you're messing with people's lives doing spell work and blocking, that will be returned immediately and you will not be protected. And you're going to be amongst all of the negative entities and all the negative energies that you've conjured for others. So that's a caveat that's going across the planet right now. Spirit wanted me to bring that up, and I brought it yesterday in our posts. So just know that the corrupt communities and those that are working in corrupt spell work, those that absolutely know the basic human common courtesy, treat people as you want to be treated, but there's some people that absolutely disregard this because they're working in their ego and wounded states, and they have entity attachments, and they just live from a space of hate. And they will do anything to bring those that have light and are speaking truth, they will bring them down because we call them out and they don't want to face who they are. So just know that, you get to state your truth, living in your power of light, living in your sense of light, living in your center. That is the direction, intention, and focus of your reality. And again, it has nothing to do with anybody outside of you. You're here to focus on you. You're here to go within that journey of self-love, self-honor, the consciousness of all that you are as a multidimensional being, what you radiate to your children, how your light affects your children when you're accepting yourself as a higher vibrational being of multidimensional reality existence. You're tapping into your gifts, your skills, your talents from other realms. Those are activations that occur through the DNA, through your multidimensional fields in divine timing that is done by your higher self and your soul when you have, again, abided by the universal laws, because you are going to be tested, as we always say. Every new realm of bandwidth of energy that you're practicing and moving through, as you're clearing out the karma, doing the very best that you can to abide by the laws, doing the very best that you can to heal your heart through love and forgiveness and compassion, treating everybody outside as your brother and sister as oneness, because they're all still God. When you're showing your teams that level of respect and honor, they're going to shift you up to new vibrations of vibrational experience. That new vibrational experience still has you returning again as quickly as you can, return to the sense of self. Who am I today? What am I working within, and what is working within me? Those higher and higher aspects of your higher self. Who are you and what you exist within is your harmonization, is your culmination, is your participation, is your growing bigger in your soul self. You're in a human body, but you're a multidimensional being of ever-encompassing, ever-evolving light, ever-evolving aspects of your soul. Why, when you're going along the spiral of now, you're going to have times throughout your month where those dark aspects are going to come out and want to be healed. And if you do it, as we said in we were saying just about every one of our videos, if you do track it and you are getting intimate with your ascension path, you're going to know that there's certain times of the month where you're going to be pulling out those darker aspects for you to heal. Face it, to suss it out. And that's why between now and the end of the year, there's going to be extra light being bathed on the planet, being bathed on those that are very, every day, all I think about is my path, is being my highest version of me. It's an hourly, moment for moment experience for me. So those are those ones that are we're given most support, we're given most energy, we have the most guides with us, we have the most opportunities, because we're the ones putting in the effort. What you get, again, is what you put in. And that's just the universe reverberating the laws of one. What you put out is what you get back. If you're putting in positive, loving intention to maintain your highest self, to maintain who you are as the highest light, to bring things up in your community when you see corruption, to not allow the same elitists to get away with being ignorant and degrading and defiling to innocent people, anything that you can do to positively take peace, loving, and action for, you get to align yourself with a higher version of you and stand in your truth. And again, you get to stand in your truth, and you get to set standards and not engage with those people that are just continually showing up just to abrasively trigger you. Because they're trying to hang on to any sense of energy that they can. They're being paid. There's people that go on platforms and they're being paid to disrupt and target light workers. That's how the corrupt communities work. So the human testing and all of those MK Ultras and all of those sick, disgusting things were to see how much of humanity can be herded into false programs of enslavement. There's a lot of programs of enslavement. Watch any of Whitney Webb's videos. She's an independent researcher. She's not paid by any elitist. She researches the truth and where the money is going, if you follow the money. And those that are being paid to drop in and off of lightworkers platforms, send those feedbacks back. If you're on a platform and anybody's going live and you see the same ignorant comments by the same people that just come on to trigger, send feedback, to YouTube. Send feedback to YouTube when accounts are being shadow banned, when you actually see it, because other channels are growing thousands and thousands by the day, and one channel is not being seen at all. You have a part to play in oneness. You have a part to play in those that are truly offering goodwill and love and positivity, to always, be a part of that loving experience. And just feel free to delete those that come on and just be ignorant because they want to push you and trigger you. You have that right. You have that right. Stand up to those that are just ignorant and choose not to change, but just choose to keep infusing their will to trigger you and intimidate you. That's how those corrupt beings work. They work through intimidation. They work through falsification and forcing negative energy and negative experiences. So feed them, feed their names back to YouTube. And start speaking up for what's true and light. Everybody on this planet has a right to live safely, to express their liberties safely, to express their liberties with peace and love and honor. There is always a higher order. The order here on earth is not the highest order. The order in a Masonic group is not the highest order. They're probably the lowest order because they have no idea about universal laws. They have no idea. They're not practicing universal laws. They're practicing selfish, arrogant experiences of title, of bidding, of rituals, sacrifice. And if you go back to our videos and you understand universal law, you understand universal energy, you understand quantum energy, anything that you do as a sacrifice or a ritual in that way is absolutely coming back within yourself and imploding. So when you understand the higher orders of law, when you understand the higher beings that you're trying to align with in your ever escalating Jacob's ladder, those aspects of you is what you're aligning to. So don't ever think that anything here on earth is what you should measure up to. Again, what is your compass point? What is your measure? So be very discerning about those that want to join earthly groups and cults and covens and elite, going to a club after their work and they meet in these ritualistic places and humiliation rituals and all of those things. They're very, very dark, degrading experiences that they pull on the soul's light. They pull on the soul's energy. They do a lot of rituals. They do a lot of sacrificing with animals and children, and they have a lot of schemes that they work within, the bidding pyramids that they use to pay people off within the systems that are very corrupt. So if you're aware of that and you're discerning of that, this is what we're going to see continue to be pulled and purged. And stand in your truth. You know your story, you know your experience, and don't let anybody intimidate you. That's how they work with their forcing energy and their forcing programs. So just understand that and see it and navigate around it, because you don't have to engage with those energies. And then again, just mute them and, navigate around them. Part of your soul blueprint, though, is going to challenge you to stand in your light, to stand in your truth and speak your truth. That's how Spirit knows to take you up to that new level, because you've allowed your truth to walk with Spirit, to walk with God in your highest level of operation, so that you can allow those light access codes to your children. Because again, everybody that you're quantumly entangled with, your light, you're practicing whatever you practice every day as your higher level of consciousness, your consciousness awareness. You're bringing your light to the world. You're standing in your confidence to the world. You're standing in your truth to the world. All of that affects and ripples out to everybody that you belong with. All dimensions, all realms, all planets. And that's why it's really important right now for you to make sure that you're standing in your light, speaking your truth, and making those changes that allow you to align physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually to that higher version of you, honoring your body as sacred self. Who are you as the sacred self? What do you exist within and what exists within you? Really tune into what exists within you. Call upon your teams. I'm asking my teams to show me what is existing within me today and how can I navigate to a healthier body? How can I navigate to a more confident sense of self so that I can speak my truth when that bully comes up and approaches me? There's a lot of shifting that's going to go on between the next 6 months to help people see what is serving them, whether it's a toxic work environment, home environment, family environment, community, whatever it is. Those things are being shaken up, and Spirit will show you very blatantly. That's why your daily work with Spirit and your daily work with your guides and your higher self is so very key. Because you know within your gut, you know within your dreams, that Spirit shows you those experiences in your dreams, what you know. And don't let anybody talk you out of what you know just because they want their narrative to be more important than yours, because they want their false corruption stories to continue and they don't want to face their choices. So call what you call. Spirit will make sure that you have extra guides. Spirit will make sure that you will be safe. That's Spirit's promise to you. If you're making a positive impact here on earth, Spirit will make sure that you are positively protected. And those that are continuing to do the corruptive experiences, their protections are taken right off. They're not being supported and they're not being protected by any aspects of guides, ancestors, or light. So there will be a lot of really harsh backfire for any and all beings that are working in Masonic groups, that are working in cults and covens that do not practice the universal laws. And that is just the universal laws. You have to understand the universal laws because it is what is the quantum makeup of how planets evolve, of how species evolve. And if there is arrogant sects of people and groups on one planet that refuse to evolve because they want to maintain darkness because it's selfishly feeding them and paying them, because they are so wounded in their soul and they have entities eating off of them because all they care about is money and greed and corruption and false title. If there are those energies and those groups of beings and entities, the universe doesn't stop evolving and species don't stop evolving because of that group of people. So spirit, God, the divine, the systems of light, the lords of light, they all bring in those people like myself that access and activate those in great dense darkness to show them a way out of the darkness so that you can break those patterns of darkness. You can discern when something's happening, when it's happening, and trust yourself. Because there's many people that are going to be very surprised at the people in their communities and even in their own homes that are a part of these very dark, corrupt groups. And their families are going to be destroyed. Because a lot of them will be going to jail. A lot of very dark corruption. And a lot of harm has come to a lot of people because of greed, false entitlement, misuse and misguidance of religion. It's all been a power play. It's all been a power play and it's been very imbalanced for thousands and thousands of years. And so we have to rebalance it. It is the number 2 law. And nobody escapes it, regardless of how they think they are protected and they have a great title in a Masonic group. That means nothing to the spiritual realms. Many of those have been going through the spiritual courts over the last 3 months because they have not heeded what their ancestors and what their guides have been asking them. Our planetary ascension won't slow down for selfish, corrupt elitism. So those people will be being pulled out, culled out, one by one, and the backfire will be immediate. The backfire will be profound because they are not supported. And they will absolutely not be protected. I wouldn't have got through anything that I got through without my protection. I wouldn't want to go through a day without spiritual protection. Because there's just that much, energies that are, especially if you're a light worker and, Spirit has shown you to be on the front line to make change and create change and bring your healing codes to the humanity. Everybody in humanity deserves their liberties. The light codes deserve to be felt and heard. My channel that has been suppressed over 6 years, I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be shared. I deserve to be lifted fairly as all light workers. Why don't we have the same liberties? It's discrimination on every level, and yet it's blatantly done, and it's done over and over and over within every system, and there's lots of people in those systems that continue to corrupt and discriminate. And so again, Spirit's been warning and giving mercy and grace for years and years now, so now they're taking all protection off. So again, but those that have been working on the light, those that have been very aligned with their ascension path, it's common courtesy, basic human treatment, do unto others as you would have done unto you, and follow the first 2 laws. And if you're refusing to do so, if you know that you've done harm to somebody, if you know that you've stolen and taken from someone, if you know that you've stolen somebody's work and all of those things, those are your very profound soul tests. Who are you? And if you choose to remain in a dark, degrading aspect of soul and not be accountable for your choices because you wanted to stay in greed, you wanted to stay in a false sense of title that some low vibrational community wants to promise you a title, which means nothing in the spiritual realm, which means nothing to the heavenly realm. And again, every one of those corrupt communities will be pulled out and will be culled out, and every one of them will face their own karma. And again, they are not protected on any level. So whatever dark entities they're swimming with, those are the dark entities they'll have to face, because they usually maintain their work, they usually maintain their lifestyle through sacrifice and rituals. And the light workers are getting extra protection, the light workers are getting extra support, and those that work in those corrupt communities are getting none. So those rituals and sacrifices will have to be unto themselves. As we said earlier, the implosion, draw it out. So be very wary and discerning about who you allow in your space when you know that those things have been going on and you've been told and you've been offered years and years at a time now. You've been seeing the red flags, you've been hearing the red flags. And again, everybody in creation as a part of the human family of oneness, when you are aligned with your higher self, you don't allow people before you to get harmed and hurt without doing anything. That's a part of your promise to be in the power of oneness. No, if they're getting harmed and hurt, and I know what's going on, and I have information and wisdoms to teach and to heal, everything that we teach can heal everything within our planet. So why have I been so suppressed? I have my right to be heard. I have my right to be out there healing the people without fearing and without going around without these protection and all the things that I have to do in 1 hour, in 1 day, because of the relentless work that's being sent to me. I have my right just to walk around. I have my right to spread my light. I have the right to say what I see. If I'm a seer and I see things, I'm going to see it and I'm going to say it. That's God's gift to me because it helps those people get triggered. No, you're not going to walk around in a lie. I see your lie. You're going to face your lie because that's your karma. You might have walked around in lies for the last 2,000 years because we were in a low vibrational 3D experience. But now those lies are being seen. And everybody that's awakening and everybody that's opening up to their psychic gifts, they're going to see those that are lying before them. It's very evident. Somebody standing in their truth before them is very different than somebody in a lie. It's like very confusing. It's very dark and it's very deflective and it's very forcing. So be discerning. Truth and deceit, there's a difference. It's a vibrational purity. It's a vibrational cleanliness. It's a vibrational refinement. Your story is very refined. Yeah, because it's who I am. Nothing to hide. And those that deceive have to try and keep up with what was the last lie they told to the last person that they told, but that person left and that person told that person a different truth. They can't keep up with their lies if they depended on it. They wouldn't know truth that smacked them right in the face. That's why now they're finding their karma roll out in front of them. And that's no different to all the politicians. Every corrupt system that we have, whether it's the Secret Service, whether it's the FBI, whether it's the policing systems, whether it's the banking systems, especially banking. All of those experiences are going to be pulled out and called out because there's corruption within it all. And everybody plays a part at facing it. It's your collective. You've been okay at allowing the corruption. So now each and every one of us stand, no more corruption. 5D, there will be no corruption. 5D, there will be no trafficking of children. 5D, there will be no having sex with children. Who said that was okay? The only reason why that is a thing is because there are so many unhealed adults that have not taken accountability and responsibility to get their wounds healed. And they've created an underground because they know if they can't do it on the upper ground, because it's not okay. It's abuse of the soul. It's abuse of the spirit. And it remains as a dark package on that person's soul and to the entire collective. So again, you're responsible for your karma. You're responsible and accountable for your choices. So make right on it. Show spirit you want to be a part of the unity ride, because it was going to keep facing you until you make it right. It's going to keep facing you until you face it. Until you say, yes, that's my soul fragment. I'm going to call this in. There's no shame in any of it. You have to claim who you are. Claim all that you are. Acknowledge all that you are. Accept all that you are. You cannot be whole without accepting all that you are. That's that humbling point. Because you will never go and try and harm a light worker when they're speaking absolute truth, because they hold humility in their heart. They hold pure intention in their heart while you're doing dark things behind the door. And you've been nothing but projecting and deflecting and pushing hate on somebody because they're actually speaking truth, because you don't want to get found out for what you're doing behind closed doors. No, we're going to speak truth and we're going to come forward and keep radiating our light, and it's going to keep breaking away every lie that's been before us. Everybody must face their choices. That's karma. You have to face it. Why? Because it's becoming your greatest strength. It's becoming your greatest light. As you accept it and start transmuting, you can only transmute it when you accept it. When you accept it in as a part of your wholeness. When you accept it in as a part of your life story. Why did you choose that? Well, because I saw this and I was abused, and you go into that story and you go into it deeper. You go into it deeper. Heal it. Be it. Allow that part of your soul fragment to be you. If you're pushing it away and saying it's not you, it's going to keep knocking you in the face. It's going to keep knocking you in your life, tower after tower after tower, until you accept who you are. That's why my ancestors have not let go of anybody that has done me wrong. 50 plus people that have been a part of my discrimination story, my harassment story, my exploitation story, the wrongs and the money stolen and the inheritance hidden, the withholding of my life. As if anybody has any power over my life. And that's what a lot of the misogynistic groups in the underground, that's what they love to do. They love to play power over people. And they turn and they trade a lot of money back and forth to see who they can get. It's a power consciousness eating experience. How much can I eat today? How much can I take today? How much can I take in, and I do spell work to take and to get, and it makes me feel so powerful. Well, until you don't know how to get your own life force and you're being left for pretty much a vacant body of illness and disease, because that entity has to be fed. And if you don't know how to do it within yourself, because you've shut off yourself to source, you've shut off yourself to your higher self, you've shut off the experience of you gaining light from your higher self. Everybody has access to light. Everybody has access to light. Every breath. And those just choose to get it from debaucherous experiences. And that's okay. It's a valid experience, and it's very important for us to learn. But there's a lot of sick people and a lot of diseased people and a lot of STDs and a lot of things that are going around because there's been such disregard. Everything is energy. Whatever you intend is how you manifest. Your body is a manifestation of your intentions, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. If you're working in the dark arts, that body will not be light. If you're in the dark arts, conjuring dark energies, conjuring dark magic, doing dark Masonic stuff, doing dark coven stuff, you don't give a crap about universal laws, this will be a dark black body, and you will not be protected. You will not be healed, because light can't get in. Why would God send you a healer when you're doing nothing but disregarding life? Even the dark entities aren't going to support you. Do you think a dark entity is going to protect you? No, it wants to be fed. It's not going to protect you. Why would it protect you? It's giving energy away. Dark entities don't want to give energy away. They're not going to give energy away. They're going to protect you. They're going to eat you whole. You have to understand how energy works, dear lighted ones. And there's a lot of dark ass people that have been continually working in their dark coven groups and their dark spell work. And they've been sent to me to wise up. But their egos and their wounding have been so very deep, and they chose not to. So that's fine. It's a valid experience, but they're no longer going to be able to affect light workers anymore. All protection is being taken off. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I know what I went through in all of the human testing that was impaled upon me as an empath and as a sensitive. And I had teams of people protecting me. I was supposed to die 4 times. I wouldn't have made it to this point without my protection, without my ancestors, without me stepping up. Every time God gave me something, I stepped up because I knew God was going to support me and God was going to clear the way. There's not going to be a lot anybody can do without protection of the heavens, because no dark entity is going to protect you. They eat. That's what dark entities do. They eat. They're not going to protect you. These people that are working with these dark entities, they think they're being told misguidance things by their ringleaders, and they have no idea because they're not light. The ringleaders are not light. They're very dark. They're very dark humans with a lot of dark wounding, and they're very misogynistic, egoic, arrogant beings. There is no light getting in. There's no higher self-wisdom getting in. Anybody being led by a ringleader, doesn't matter where they are in politics, in whatever secret sect, they are very dark beings that work on human testing, and they have no idea what they're doing. They're not getting the higher intelligent wisdoms at all. They don't know anything about energy. They don't know anything about deities. They don't know anything about the lower realm, the middle realm, or the upper realm. So God will show everybody. Nobody's been listening to me. They've been, laughing at me, calling me cray-cray. Okay, well, let God show you. And exactly what will unfold has been exactly what I've called for the last 6 years. There's a lot of corrupt groups that have been targeting and intimidating and harassing and exploiting innocent people and children. And it's not okay. And I will not stand down, and I will not stop speaking until every child's voice is heard. The children that didn't make it, the children that are screaming in their souls because nobody is hearing them because they're being sexually molested and abused by adults that simply choose not to go and seek healing and face who they are. Those adults that sexually abuse and are part of the underground trafficking in every level of our creational reality, the elites that have their programs of herding humanity into enslavement, make no mistake, that's going on. And you have to discern for yourself, are you going to be a follower? Are you going to give your money to the bidding system of the underground cults and corruptions? Or are you going to stand in your truth and be a part of the oneness ride? God will love you either way, but there will be no protection for those that continue the degradation of humanity, nature, wildlife, or animals, just to get your selfish gain and your false ass title. The heavens don't care about human ass titles. They mean nothing. What is in your soul to be a part of the greater good, to be a part of the oneness factor? That means everything. And every hour upon the hour, are you acting in the highest benevolence of the greater good or not? It's very simple. And don't let anybody complicate it for you, because that is the devil. The devil will like to complicate, and the devil will like to say things and deflect and project. No, stand in your truth. No, for the greater good, this is truth. There will be no further protection for those that use dark magic, to wound, to hurt, to sacrifice, to do rituals. Any readers that give out information other than the people sitting before them, they will have karma, because it's not about anybody else than the people that are before them. That's all they have permission to do. Do not interfere with other people's lives. It's not your right. And that shows you right off the bat that anybody that you are in front of have no alignment with their higher self. Because your higher self would never ever tell you to give information energetically, astrologically, or anything on anybody else other than the ones before you. They don't have permission. So that you know that they're not aligned with their higher self. Therefore, they're giving you very low vibrational information, and it's misguidance to their selfish needs and benefit. And again, why would you want that? Why would you pay to have somebody give you misguidance? Because you want what you want. You're not willing to do the work. You're not willing to see that everybody has a life, everybody has free will, and let them be. Everything that's meant to be before you will be before you. If you understand universal laws, if you understand that God has a grand design and you're actually a part of it, and if you don't believe that and you absolutely want to believe in you have to pay to get things, you have to sacrifice to get things, you have to do these crazy ass rituals, and you have to go into an underground pyramid bidding system, and you have to be a spiritual assassin to get stuff because you want to feel all important, that's absolutely going to lead you on the path of self-destruction, and every one of you know that. Because a lot of people that watch my videos are the ones that are a part of very important human, very important titles. And they're watching this because they know that I speak truth. And they're watching this because they're wondering what's coming next. What's coming next is exactly what we've been talking about for 6 years. If you do not abide by the universal laws, there is no protection for you. There is no support for you. And your programs will fall and implode because that's your intention for the others. And God will not allow it. You've had your time. Those that have been given great money, those that have been given great responsibility and have done nothing but harm, corrupt, and lie and herd humanity into enslavement programs, very, very egregiously harming people through human testing, through all of these programs, every single one of them will be pulled out. Because human agendas to herd elite programs is not benevolence of the greater good. And every single person on this planet is going through ascension and awakening. Every single person will want to reflect within, who am I, what do I exist within, and what exists within me? Am I following the first two universal laws? And if you are not, absolutely better bet that you will get your karma in whatever way that it will be distributed to you, based on what your soul needs to learn. Nobody has or plays God over any, none. And walk away from anybody that ever talks like that, ever talks about doing spell work or intimidating someone or trying to get their business. Anybody that lives their life in competition over others to get, to take, to herd, to manipulate, to create personal agendas of selfishness, walk away very quickly. Because again, as we said, things are shifting very dramatically over the next 6 months. Those that are on the oneness ride and those that choose to not. And simply choose to not heal and continue to grade. So just know that. The next 6 months is going to be very evident. Choose to be on the oneness ride because you get the support, you get the light, you get to own your soul fragments, you get to be a part of creating an earth that's never been created before. Use your past as the powerful now moment to jump off of. It doesn't matter who anybody and what anybody has done up to this point. God will still accept. God will still accept up to the very last second. But you have to want to heal. You have to want to be a part of oneness. Because your personal agenda is not the benevolent role of all. That's why false leaders in 3D human bodies that are not aligned with their higher selves have no bearing and no play and no importance to the spiritual realm. They've done a lot of harm with their money. They've done a lot of harm with the power that they've been given. So much abuse of power. That's where the corruption is. Everybody that has been given power that God gave that grace to, the gifts, the money, the title, the power of leading people in great and goodwill, it's been so disappointing for light workers like myself. And most people would have not made it what I did. They would have made it. I made it through because of the benevolence and the absolute devotion I have with God. The level of corruption and those working in corruption is utterly it makes you sick to your stomach. That people are willing to sacrifice children and animals and land and the selfishness and the degradation to the human spirit. Because these entities just want to suck the life out of everything that's living in light. And they'll create very corrupt, dark programs to silent truth workers and truth tellers like myself. And it's threaded everywhere. And our liberties are being tested. Your free will is to speak your truth, period. And if you know that and you walk with that, Spirit, God have jurisdiction. Whatever any earthly experience wants to silence you, they have no right to. They don't have jurisdiction on a light worker like myself. And God will assure of that. Because these corruptive systems that are degrading and defiling planet Earth are going to be pulled out, period. They have been given great responsibility, and there's been nothing but corruption, trafficking of children, trafficking of Gaia's resources, trafficking of humans being sold as slaves. And you all know they are, and they're going to be coming out in the news. And you have to face it. They're going to be in your own communities. They're going to be in your own homes. And you have to face those in your family and say, if you have sexual wounding, you need to heal it. There will be no more further touching of children. There will be no more further sexing with children. We are on our path to 5D, and this is the law. Get used to it, boys. Giddy up. And there will be no women walking around trying to call in girls and boys for modeling agencies, the madams that they are, to offer them into a pornography trafficking sex ring. And they meet them at the malls and they say, wow, you're really pretty. Why don't you come with me for a photo shoot? And they send in their recruits that have been studying them, and they send in other people that have been studied to recruit the vulnerable ones. These are actual systems. Go watch my videos. Go watch Whitney Webb's videos. It's deplorable. Trading humans like it's flesh in a grocery store. These sacred essences of spirit. These sacred essences that have chakra systems with divine wisdoms and divine knowledge that are meant to come forward and heal those that are going to be sick. Because they will be. They'll be struck with disease. They'll be struck with whatever they can, those that have been working in those experiences. And they know that they've been doing harm, and they've continued to do it. Because their power and their ego and their money means so much more than assisting humanity and becoming righteous and becoming healed and becoming healthy and becoming kind and becoming caring and healing your own sexual traumas from your youth. Because everything is healable. So whatever's going on in your home, call it with very loving grace and compassion and honor. We are one. And this has been the conversation for 6 years now. And we're going to have to everybody face it. It's going to be in your homes. It's going to be in your communities. How are these people going to be healed? Where are the programs to heal the corruption from the underground trafficking systems? And all of these children that have been displaced, all of these children that have multidimensional wounds because they've been used as sexual toys and objects and being sold for thousands while they're sitting in filth and disgrace. Who's going to help these children become one? Or is the plan just to throw them back on the streets? Oh, corrupt leaders. Oh, corrupt leaders of the elitism and your many, many programs. Because these videos actually reach you, and that's why you suppress my channel, because you are being called out. Spirit has given great people with great monies and great authority and great responsibility to do good for the people, and it hasn't been done. Shame on you, and I'm calling you out. Stand before me. Oh, corrupt 3D leaders. Because it's time that everybody face what they have chosen and what they have chosen to pass money for back and forth. There will be no more harming of any children. There will be no more using of children for sex. Heal your sexual traumas and your abuses from your childhood. You don't need anybody else's life force. With sexual orgy parties, you don't need it from anybody else. You have your life with source. You have your light with source. Everyone has source light within them. You don't need to go outside and do spell work. You don't need to do rituals with animals to get and do anything. You are an infinite spiritual being. How about you start working with you? How about you start going within and working with your higher self? How about you start working and calling in your higher self and your soul? And start working with the light that you have and start knowing what it feels like to walk around supported and healed and absolutely protected by Spirit Source God. Share these videos. Share these videos. Make sure the children are aware that they can claim their life. They can claim their energy. They can claim their chakras. They can claim their bodies, and not to be misled by anybody that asks them to go to a fun party and they're given drugs in their drink so they can be held vulnerable and hopeless and helpless. And then they get called into blackmailing schemes where they're being led into these trafficking rings for further misuse and abuse, that they had no right being there. And these adults and these people in the systems had every authority and oath that they had taken to take care and be the higher version of these children, to look up to and do what is right. And they've been let down disgracefully. And I'm calling it across this entire planet and this world. For the next 6 months, this is going to be called out and pulled out, and we have to heal these children. We have to heal every single person that's been used as a slave to false, elise, arrogant asses that think they have ownership and claim over people and humans of sacred light, and they don't. I speak on behalf of God. Nobody plays God, period. Every child is sacred, period. Every human on this planet has a chakra system, has fields, has hearts, and it is sacred, and it is divine, and it is powerful, and nobody has the right to mess with it. Those are the universal laws. Call upon your teams, call upon your higher self. Have the children practice calling upon their higher self and the angels for protection and guidance and love every day. Start investigating what your chakras do for you and how you can align and heal your chakras. Start investigating how you can let go of your sexual traumas so that you don't have those urges to do those things that hurt and harm people. Heal thy wounds so they don't become another's. Because why? Because you're here to be of service, because you're here to show that your life is a version to help another person that thought that they couldn't heal from sexual abuse and sexual traumas, because you can. I've seen every devil, and I've slayed every devil before me, because they're aspects of the entire creative collective that has been sold out, have sold their souls to false entitlement and superficiality, which doesn't nourish your soul. Spirit nourishes your soul. Connection nourishes your soul. Knowing that your chakras are alive with wisdoms and talents and skills, and knowing that you are a master of this realm. And God will help pick you up, and God will help align you with your highest purpose, and God will help you be the one that's teaching those that have been abused the generation before you. So make no mistake about it, every moment is a moment where you are entangling and engaging and creating oneness. Because my Pleiadian brothers and sisters, they have been absolutely there for me step by step, and they told me the same thing. Joanna, you will no longer be taken advantage of or vibrationally raped. You will no longer be the one that people do their orgies with to try and take your life force to manifest. Because I feel it. How do you think it feels for a divine feminine that has been celibate for 14 years, that honors her sacred body and devoted to love on earth and devoted to healing the children that have been raped? How do you think it feels for a divine feminine to feel this on a daily fucking basis? How does it feel? How does it feel as an empath and a conduit that feels 100 times what a normal person does, that has their chakra system shut down? How does it feel to be vibrationally raped? To have people forcibly push their way into your dreams and feed you false agendas and false stories because they want you to shut up? Because you're speaking truth that will bring their corruption to the front, so that these children are no longer hurt and harmed, so that innocent light workers can be left alone to walk the planet and heal the children that are meant to be led by those in responsible places. Spirit has earth angels in every system, make no mistake about it. And every day there are people waking up upon the thousands, upon the thousands, upon the thousands. And everybody has an opportunity. Take a knee and ask for a respectful forgiveness. 51 people that have been a part of my degrading discrimination experience and have spit on me on every single day that I brought light. Not one person came forward and said a sorry. They just kept throwing their demons and their hate, trying to get into my dreams and trying to switch my mentality around as if I didn't know myself and I didn't have the power of my own consciousness. And they didn't even think that there were thousands of beings that are spiraling and swarming around me to keep me safe and loved, because they saw how disgraceful I was treated. And I am no different to every child and every woman for thousands of years that has been ignored and erased. So I ask you, dear lighted ones, I'm your activator. I walk with Anubis. I walk the very ancient Egyptians. Lower, middle, and upper realm. I walk with them all. I've earned it. I'm a healer, and I've given unconditionally to so many people. And I've healed a lot of people. And people have stolen, taken, and raped me in every way. None will have that right, and they will face their karma. And so be it. Period. Be a part of the unity experience. Be a part of the oneness experience. We are one, and those that have done the abusing have been abused. So we have compassion and forgiveness for all. Everybody from my past, everybody that has been involved, whether it's a falsification of a signature or a sliding of a hand back and forth or silencing when you know that truth should be spoken, but you don't. All is forgiven. It's all forgiven. I release you in every way. 50 plus people, I release you. You are free. You are free. And I wish you good luck and good vibrations for those dark entities that will be protecting you and honoring you. I wish you greatness and goodwill. And the people that came to my classes as fake clients to conjure their little demons in my class, I wish you well. It was so nice to offer my unconditional light and love to you. I learned so many great lessons to claim my power, to claim my voice. I will not stop speaking the truth of the Holy Creator. I will not stop speaking what is meant for humanity in the promise and in the hope of 5D. Because we are moving on this 5D journey and it will move forward regardless. Creation and the multiverse, that's why we have universal laws, because we're in a multiverse. We're a part of the multiverse. Every planet, we affect every planet. We affect every being. We affect the Greys, we affect Andromedans, we affect the Arcturians, we affect the Pleiadians. We affect all of these beings and all of the light ships all over the multiverse. That's why we have universal laws. Because everything that you are as a being of light affects everybody. So certain selfish, unhealed experiences on Earth aren't going to hold up the multiverse that wants to ascend, has their right to ascend, has their right to walk about the planet offering their free will, offering their light, and offering their truths of higher wisdom and higher knowing and higher healing and higher activations. As conduits, that's what we do, that's what we offer. We have our right. And my channel deserves to be shared and sent freely around the world to be seen, to be loved. I have the right to be loved. I have the right to be receiving of all that I am due because I have that right. I have earned it. And nobody has the right to play God over my life. And my one life story was purposeful because I was the sacrificial lamb for all of those that have been used and abused by corruptive programs that abuse power, abuse energy, abuse information, and abuse title. The haves and the have-nots, that's what we're healing here, dear lighted ones. So what part do you play? If you have money, are you sharing it equally with your community in good ways and goodwill? You're not doing more than you're able to, because that's part of a lesson too. Never give away what you can't afford to keep in, but also be giving and caring and compassionate. If you can give a positive, loving word, if you can get on and share a positive story, if you can get on and share positive goodwill and helping in your community, do it. That's helping the vibration of the planet. You're being a part of oneness. If you know that you have a truth that needs to be spoken because there's been many people harmed by a certain experience, then you need to speak that truth. That's how you clear your karma. That's how you show creation. I want to be a part of this oneness ride. How can I help? No, there's something that's not right going in the community. We got to fix this. Let's do this. And you bring positive, empowering change. It's not protesting. You're being a part of powerful, positive change. You're coming up with powerful, positive resolve. Because it's your collective. You can't negate your collective. I have been offering unconditional healing to everybody that has seen my videos since the day I started. Unconditional. The same healing I give in a private session, the same healing I give to those that come to the live sessions. Everything is the same energy. Same energy because I love honoring source. I love honoring the human collective. I love honoring those before me. I love walking in my knowing that I make a difference here on this planet. And every day I come forward, I offer that pure intention. And God knows that. God knows that when you walk in your purpose, when you walk in your truth, when you speak your truth, you are making a difference throughout all creation because you're not okay with living in the matrix anymore. You're not okay with living in the soul blueprints that say, no, I'm going to break that curse. I'm going to break that limitation. I'm going to break the subjugation of divine feminine for thousands of years. And I'm going to break that aspect that says divine masculine can't be intuitive and sensitive and nourishing as well. So whatever is before you, take that as your soul blueprint. It's before you for a reason. You manifested it. It's part of your soul blueprint. Because your kids are going to be rippling that change of behavior, that higher vibrational entrainment that you promised that you would do, that you would make, that you are. Everything before you is your manifestation to show you are on it. You are on it. Your spirit's going to show you so many tests. Spirit's going to take you on detours. Spirit's going to place you in those very challenging experiences where are you going to behave like you did before or are you going to behave new? Are you going to continue to lie and put on masks or are you going to come out forward and you're going to speak your truth no matter how hard it is? No matter how many people throw rocks at you, no matter how many people berate you and degrade you, are you going to stand there and speak your truth? Yes, I will. Absolutely. You put me here, Spirit. I know truth. I speak 100 with Source. That's why my words are powerful. That's why people get triggered. That is a purposeful experience. That's clearing the karma in your field right now. So open up and allow it. I allow the love of this human experience that is undeniable Source experience, undeniable Christ consciousness to bathe and cleanse my aura. Bathe and cleanse my aura with this holy light. Amen. Because I walk as the Holy Creator, as the Holy Christ. That's my intention. That's why people get triggered. That's why people are activated. That's why people go away tomorrow. You wake up different. If you so choose. If you sit back and think you're the only one that's the creator and you think you're the only one that you're playing God over everybody else's life, you won't get those activations. You won't get support and you won't be protected because that's arrogance. You're showing Spirit you're not taking a knee. Nobody will get through Ascension without humility. That is a soul lesson because your soul needs to be nourished. Your soul will not be nourished by underground sex orgies. That's wounding. That's taking life force from somebody else in a harmful way, and it's very, very dark karma. And you will have to face it. This lifetime, when you pass in the next lifetime. It'll be a darker timeline. It'll be around darker people. You'll be attracting darker entities, and you won't be, again, supported or protected. Still very valuable lessons, but you get to choose. Your life force is everything. It's very sacred. So who are you? Start with your life force. My life force is a part of the divine sacred. My life force is very sacred. So how do you share it? Do you share it with loving intention to be reciprocal and kind and honoring and respectful? And don't feel bad if you don't have answers for this, because 90% of the people on the planet don't understand their life force, don't even know they have life force, and share it within wounded intentions. That's why the verbiage is the way it is on our planet. That's why there's so much imbalance. That's why 99% of the leaders on this planet are men unhealed and disconnected from their higher selves, and why we are in the state we are in. Everything returns back to self. Anything that's going on outside of you that you notice and you recognize is a part of what's going on within you. And that is why God has placed it before you. You've placed it before yourself so that you can acknowledge it, accept it, and make it as one. And then what? Then you step up to a higher rung of being who you are. I am speaking my absolute truth. I am in alignment with who I am as my higher self. I know that I bring peace and promise and hope to people. I know that I radiate pure, unconditional love because we are able to heal anything before us, within us, and around us. And that is a universal truth, my friends. Don't let anybody tell you different. And if they do, they don't have your highest and their best interest at heart. Be discerning. Move away. Let them have their beliefs and attitudes and limitations, but you have yours. Carry your goodwill. You walk with God. Your cells have consciousness. Your cells reproduce and regenerate in the way that they've been doing and then trained to. But you, in every day, and I offer healing sessions for you that you can practice at nighttime before you go to bed, start regenerating new codes, new intentions to allow the consciousness of your cells to raise its vibration and meet you at the higher self experience. You have availability for that. That's your higher self, all of your cells in alignment with all that you are, all of your chakras, all of your fields, all that you are. You are the one that gets to say, okay, everything that I am, we're harmonizing anew. I get to state where my cells are at. I get to state how my cells are going to manage my body and my systems. And you get to reclaim your nervous system. You get to reclaim your breathing system. You get to reclaim your spinal system. You get to reclaim all of those things that were so high-strung in anxiety because you were dealing in the dark magic, you were dealing and not facing who you are. And all of those things, they tax your immune system. They tax your anxieties that are sending off these pulsations inside the brain, making everything in your mental body, your emotional body, imbalanced. And then you react and you do harmful things. Because a body cannot act peacefully and calmly and harmonious when you're all messed up. Because of not how to operate in your field. You don't know how to operate in your body. You don't know how to operate in your vessel. Nobody's taught you, except on this channel. And because if you're not practicing it every day, then what do you can't, you're responsible for your body. You're responsible for your mind. You're responsible for your path. You're responsible for your reality. And God is also saying too, as you're healing those wounds of lack of self, if you're healing those wounds of not expressing your true self, if you're healing those experiences where people are holding you back all the time, a lot of that is lineage, a lot of that is Akash. That's why when you come to a healer like myself, we help you define those experiences where you can clear those Akashic wounds and Akashic energies. And so that once those stories are healed and accepted within your timeline, you can then step out of that and say, okay, Spirit, I've healed those timeline stories of being held back and suppressed. I've done a lot of clearing for the human collective. I want to be released from these stories. And Spirit says, okay, you did your job. We're going to release you from these karmic stories. And everybody that is involved in those karmic stories, as in my particular discrimination case, those people that continued to think that they had entitlement over me and continued to pull me into their dramas and continued to pull me into their stories, even though there had been nothing there for 7 or 8 years. I haven't talked to these people. I don't even know these people, but they wanted to keep pulling me into their experience because they were using and harvesting my light. And because of all the other timelines that we're entangled and engaged together. But one by one, I was cutting those timelines off and those stories off. Those people don't have any right or entitlement to entangle with me. They don't have permission. They don't have engagement. They don't have authority. They don't have approval. None of them have approval. None of them have approval to be in my energy. They don't give me anything. They just take. And they vibrationally rape me. They don't have approval to be in my energy. And so I have those discussions every day with Spirit and my ancestors and my guides, and I have extra support, I have extra healing, I have extra protection, and they clear those energies out. They're no longer allowed to connect with me. They cannot find my energy. And so I can move on my path as I was always meant to, right from my birthright. I was meant to walk on this planet. I was meant to offer who I am. Why would that not be a thing? Why is it okay for everybody else to offer who they are? Except if you're a light person, but then if you're a light person, you get targeted and discriminated and in intimidation tactics and targeting all over the place. How's that fair? How's that an equal balanced planet? It's not. So we're ending it. It's over. So now we're stepping forward. We're stepping forward. We're going to say, look, this is a new planet. This is a new planet. This is a new dimension. This is a new way. Anything that you see in your home, in your community, that you can do something about, do it. Speak it. Start a blog. Start a community blog about empowering, loving, positive change. How can you make your life a story? How can you make your life a story of doing what is right for you and the greater good? Your story, your experiences help others. So speak, share, express the 3 E's of Ascension. That's what your soul always, 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 every night when you will lay down at night and you've done your healing and you've done your harmonization to that higher code of your higher self, and your cells are now in alignment to your higher self-consciousness. You've aligned your teams, you've aligned your organs, you've aligned your blood, you've aligned your cells, you've aligned your skin, you've aligned every system that you have operating within you as a physical being, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. You're harmonizing all that you are to a higher code. That's your authority. That's your commandmentship. You have absolute authority over everything that you are. And as you do that, your body is going up into the higher vibrational light ships, and you're going on recalibration and regeneration chambers on light ships. And you can ask for specific things on those light ships. That's being engaged and participating with your teams. Your teams are doing everything possible to assist you in ascending, to assist you in releasing negativity, to assist you in releasing darkness and densities. But do you love yourself enough to be that engaged? Do you love yourself enough to tap in with Spirit? Do you love yourself enough to do the journaling every morning and say, what am I going to work with today? I love myself. Let's see if I can focus all day on self-loving thoughts. And I'm going to start releasing those people that are not supportive of me, that are just bringing me nothing but drama and pain and chaos and arguments and anything that is draining dramatically like that in your life. Those are energies that are very karmic, and they're choosing not to move forward in their healing. And you need to close down those experiences because it's the end of the year. It's important. It's important at this time that people take conscious awareness of what their 2024 is going to look like for their new earth. I'm going to be consciously engaged. I'm going to be healing parts of myself that I had lost, I had forgotten. I'm going to bring them in for the highest vibrational love and compassion that I can muster. I'm going to even come to new depths of compassion for myself that I've never had. That little tiny sacred child that was so creative, that had so many psychic gifts, that was shut down because of all the traumas. Because I was so psychically aware, I was connected to beings and aliens and celestials and Gaia that nobody else saw or knew. So there's going to be lots that I'm going to be helping a lot of people heal. We have so many gifts that are so profound, and they're going to be opening up to us in 2024. They're going to be opening up for us because each and every one of you have a grander part to play in the divine design. You're here to assist humanity, expand, explore, become new, to regenerate, to reclaim who they are as spirit, to make sure that there's new knowledge going out every day about chakras. Just ask your kids, ask your kids if they understand chakras and what chakras are about. Ask them about their dreams. Get them talking about dream interpretation. Get them used to having communication with their subconscious, the lower conscious, and the higher conscious, and harmonizing it together. The lower realm, the middle realm, and the upper realm. We all have access to them. And those that, again, those that are abusing those systems and those that are abusing energy, their gifts will be taken away again. They won't be supported and they won't be protected. And so that's just the process of ascension. Ascension will not stop. We have our right to become self-actualized. We have our right to become fully light within our body. We have the right to access our Merkabas without people fooling, intimidating, and forcing us to be in false, corrupt programs. We have our right to be happy. We have our right to be healthy. We have our right to have leaders that are truthful and aligned with their higher selves. So ask that. Send pulsations out every night. We choose fifth dimensional leaders that are aligned with their higher selves. That should be a must. If a leader is not aligned with their higher selves, they're getting nothing but 3D vibrational misguidance. And again, as we gave you that example of a Masonic ringleader. Anybody that's in a vibrational group like that is giving direction, they are not tapped into anything but low vibrational dark energies and dark entities. And why would anybody be a part and be okay with being misguided so blatantly? And a lot of it is brainwashed, and they use dark magic and mind scraping techniques and tactics. I know I went through it. I experienced it. I was the victim of it and the targeting of it. But it just makes, if you draw it out, I always say you become more consciously aware and you understand reality very basically when you draw it out. Do the infinity. The center is your highest harmonization point. That's your higher self. It's your heart space, Mother, Father, God. The sacred child. What would the sacred child do? The sacred child would want to step in when somebody's getting hurt. Why would you just let somebody get hurt and not do anything? Why would you do that? If a child tells you they're being touched and you don't do anything, why would you not do anything? I have had many great beings that were a part of my life and other lifetimes where I was sexually abused. And they didn't do anything in this human lifetime. And when they passed over, they gave me extra support. They gave me extra positivity and love and light, and they helped me. Because they couldn't do it on the earthly realm. So now they're coming back as guides. That's why I have more and more guides every day helping me. Because a lot of things done on the earthly realm that I was discriminated against, and I was blasphemed. I was defamed and I was abused. So now all those people are trying to return their karma, and they're trying to clear their karma by coming back as guides and helping me. So they're doing things without, if they know I have a problem, my guides are taking care of it because they were a part of those roles here on earth when they were alive. So always know that anybody that ever does wrong to you, spirit and source will make sure, because it's a part of their soul's contract as well. If they couldn't pay back their karma in their soul blueprint to you, their promise to you was to be a part of something profound with you. If they can't do it in the physical, they will be doing it in the spiritual, and they will be one of your bodyguards. And you can ask, you don't even have to ask. I didn't know this until they told me. They said they want to repay you the karma that they couldn't do for you. They were meant to help you in this way and that way, and they couldn't. They were just not awake. They didn't believe you. They feel very bad. Will you forgive them? And I said, of course I'll forgive them. I mean, I survived. I'll get through it. People targeting me doesn't mean anything. So? I've seen every devil that can be conjured. So? And? What does that mean? So you throw hate at me, so? And? I've served years and years and years of being impelled hate daily. And? So I forgive everybody. And now they're helping support me and protect me because they're paying back what they couldn't do in the physical. They've passed over. They're in the spirit now. Now that I'm working on a multiverse experience, there's many beings on the multiverse that are supporting me. That's why people can't understand why and how I survive what I do. Because I work with the lower, middle, and upper realms. I work with all realms because I respect spirit. I respect universal laws. I respect universal laws, point blank, period. I bow and kneel daily. God honors that. God will lift me because I'm the first divine feminine that has made it this far. And I will help rebalance this human collective. And I will put divine feminine back in our creational story. We are meant to be heard, we're meant to be seen, we're meant to be loved, and we're meant to be appreciated and valued. Why weren't we? And we're going to see, anybody that has watched my Adam and Eve, basically what we're healing right now is very deep core wounds within our collective on the Adam Eve project, which the Pleiadians told me about a couple years ago. I think the very first video I did is you have to go way back. The Adam Eve project, it was a channeled video, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And it's been a constant theme. When we're pulling up all of these corruptive underground programs, remember how most of us, and those of you that have watched my videos from the very beginning, those of you that have basic understanding and knowledge about dogmatic programs, you know and we understand as a woman, as a divine feminine, the imprints that you're given on the collective level. Because I'm a conduit and I'm a divine feminine leader, I'm helping establish a new 5D divine feminine goddess. What does that mean? What does that look like? What does the 5D matriarch look like? I'm helping create that. And I've got many beings from all over the multiverse helping me anchor a 5D divine feminine matriarch in the highest vibrational Christic experience that matches our grids, that matches the alignment of the programs with God, the systems of light, the lords of light, and so on and so on. So that's very important. That's very powerful. It's very loving for me, because we've never had it before. So there's nobody that I can look up to as a role model. So I'm imagining it, and we've talked about this in our classes. So if you want to join our classes on manifesting that 5D version of your highest expression of you and your soul's blueprint, that's a huge part of my soul's blueprint, is to be the highest version of divine feminine matriarch and rewrite human balancing, because obviously our world needs it. That's why we're in the state that we're in. And so part of the blatant, everybody sees it. If you just sit down and you want to do your clearing and you want to get more connected with your soul's blueprint and rebalancing your divine feminine masculine energies and your chakras, sit down and ponder and muse and think about the role of the Adam and the role of Eve. And without going to any of the internet, without remembering back on the stories that you were told and fed, feel into the imprints that you have about that story. What does that mean for you? What does that bring up for you? What does that trigger for you? And then it will allow you to reflect upon your own lineage, your own familial experiences of what you experienced in your home. But that's where you're doing the work for your lineage, and you're going to sit down and, oh, thank you, sweetheart. And, you know, Scotty, you're a great example. So this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this to you, because this is on behalf of your guides. So obviously, you know that when I'm speaking in these live experiences, when I say things, it's because your guides are bringing it through for you. So it's like you're getting a private session. But Scotty, because you've been on the path for so very long and you are a very good role model for divine masculine, we're going back to that video I did a couple years ago. So go back to our older videos, because they're all playing out now in the physical. What I talked about thou, I was bringing down informations and wisdoms from the spiritual realms. Now it's unfolding in the physical. Everything happens in the spiritual first, then it unfolds in the physical. So what we're seeing right now is the juxtaposition and the rebalancing of the very negative, degrading, subjugative expressions and imprints that were based on the Adam and Eve story for Eve. That's being flipped around because divine feminines have done our healing. Each divine feminine that takes that story, goes within and reflects upon it, brings out a new version of story. That's how divine feminines, and you're men as well, because men, you have divine feminine energies within you. Go within and say, what does that Eve story mean to me? And how can I make that a 5D version story now? You get to rewrite divine feminine in this new way, because it directly relates to your mother, your mother's mother, and all those lineage experiences that you're here to anchor and rewrite new 5D stories. That's how profound you are. That's how profound this entire experience is. That's why I get so excited. We have no idea how profound this is. Each and every one of us, each and every one of you listening has a profound experience to begin rewriting the Adam and Eve story. Without any revelation, without any referring, and without any threading to any religion. Because again, in 5D, there's going to be no religion. Those stories and those energies and those experiences were brought for a reason. We want you to transcend what was. We want you to skip over that because you're coding. I'm teaching you how to code. You're going to jump over that and you're going to put the piece of paper in front of you and you're going to write divine feminine, divine masculine on a piece of paper. You're going to write Adam and Eve on a piece of paper. And then you're going to start writing down and you're going to start doing your automatic writing. That's how you connect with spirit. That's how you start practicing being a psychic writer. You're channeling your higher self and your soul. I'm calling my soul. I'm calling my higher self. I'm aligned with my higher self. I'm aligned with God. What does this mean for me? Take a deep breath. Ground, 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 ground. My chakras are aligned. Breathe. I'm breathing in light. I'm breathing in light. I'm breathing in light. I'm bathed. My mental body is bathed. Physical, emotional, spiritual, sexual bodies are all bathed and cleansed and cleared. I'm calm. I'm centered. I'm in my highest state of flow and creativity. Creativity is so important to your ascension. That's why when we say draw it out, there's a reason why we say that. It helps you activate your cells. It helps you activate those cellular memories. It helps you activate those light codes of you being a creator. You'll be amazed at what gets activated. I'll give you an example. The other day when I had just come out of a meditation and I just went to write something, within the first sentence that I wrote something, I saw a vision of I was talking about what we were talking about earlier about the consciousness of genetics, consciousness of DNA, consciousness of the cells. And as I wrote the very first sentence, I was shown myself on a light ship and on a crystal board. That's what their computer boards are. It's just crystal clear glass. And on this crystal board, they immediately just popped up, like these really cool movies. That's how my visions work. They just immediately popped up. The Merkaba, the space and the light that shows everything. And then in that, they showed me a multi-dimensional, they brought up with their hands, like just out of their body, they brought up out of their hands the vision and it was placed on the crystal board. And that crystal board was like a, multi-dimensional object, as if the screen disappeared and it was just this multi-dimensional shape that was showing me the consciousness of what I was asking about. And that was just in writing that one sentence. That's how creative writing, creative journaling, creative oneness with source works to activate the higher self, because you see through your third eye. You see and you receive the information through your pineal and all that you are as a multidimensional being. So that's why I say what I say. There's reasons to why I say what I say. When I say draw it out, it means draw it out. Get out your paper. Because you'll be activated. That's why I say what I say, because the teams are knowing that, okay, if they're going to take out the paper, we're going to give them an activation. That's why I say what I say. It helps clear things. It helps activate something you thought, wow, I just had a vision of me being on a light ship. You'll be surprised. So when we have our next live video, if you practice this for a week, I want you to make notes in the comment section about what you've experienced. If you're truly wanting to engage with your higher self as a soul, you want to engage with your teams, you want to engage in healing your body, you want to engage in being a psychic reader, a psychic writer, if you want to be engaged with your cells, you want to be engaged with your DNA, whatever it is you want to know, you have access to it. So I'm showing you, draw it out, write it out. That's how you activate yourself. That's my first book, was all about journaling. You show yourself that you are ascending. You show yourself that you're alchemizing. You show yourself that today you're behaving differently because you intend to be a higher version of you. Because you intend to be a more refined version of you, a more mature version of you. So on that piece of paper, this is how you do the inner work. If you want to be a high vibrational master, write out what we're showing you. Divine masculine, divine feminine, Adam and Eve. And what comes forward. Do your breath work. Do your centering. Call all your soul fragments in. Pull all your presence to your heart space, because your heart space is where you gather all your information. You live from your heart space. And if you're not living from your heart space, you're living from a very dense mind, the 3D mind. And it's very heavy and imbalanced. You're thinking from your heart space. You see from your heart space. Your heart opens up your third eye. That's why with people with wounding at their heart chakras won't feed into higher information. And again, that's why when people say that they're copying your work and you know that your chakras are open and aligned, they're not doing anything with your work but just saying your words. They have no flow with spirit. And spirit will not allow them to manifest anything. Because their heart spaces are not open. You can't manifest abundance if your heart space is closed. That's why people go to and resort to spell work and forcing and manipulating and making. They're going against the first two laws, again, karma. See, I'm showing you, and when you draw it out. That's why I'm telling you, you will be a master when you draw it out. Draw it out for a couple of days and you will show yourself, wow, I actually knew this. Because you're showing yourself, you're calling in that seventh dimensional version of you that you had forgotten about, but because you've been so focused on 3D superficial aspects of who you are, that version of you, that seventh dimensional right there, you never had it practiced. But when you just start sitting with a piece of paper and you say, no, I'm going to channel. I've got spirit running through me. I'm accessing my soul. I'm accessing the all that I am. I'm a psychic writer. I'm going to tap into the highest version. Remember, intend. I'm intending the highest version of information. When I sit down and I do my channeling, see channeling? When I do my channeling, I say the highest vibrational information and I call on whoever I want to call on. Galactic Federation, if it's a galactic celestial message about first contact. Where are we at with galactic ascension? Where are we at with the collective energies? Where are we at with epidemiology? Where are we at with the corruptive experiences? Because that's a huge part of pulling darkness and density from our collective unity matrix. The matrix is breaking because of the corruptive experiences being pulled out and cleansed and cleared. And everybody plays a part. So draw it out on the piece of paper, Adam and Eve, and then bring forward those experiences. Because in those experiences will be a part of how you're going to offer and express yourself anew. That's why I said you're alchemizing as you're doing it, as my book number 1 said. When you write it out, when you draw it out, when you create the stuff like I do, just drawing it out. When I started doing this, I had no idea that it would become illustrations. My teams just said, just draw it out. What are you feeling? What are you expressing? And I just started drawing. I got boxes and boxes of journals of me just drawing stuff and writing stuff out. That was spirit showing me, wow, I'm actually channeling a healing system that I created on the Pleiades. I was just recreating in a human form. That's my healing stuff. It's my energy. It belongs to me. So spirit says, okay, now keep going with it. Keep going with it. Keep going with it. Draw it out. Draw out what you're feeling. Draw out what your vision was. Draw out what your dream was. Draw it out. You'll be activated. I'm saying this because it clears what? What does it clear? Write it down below. What does it clear? When you draw it out, what are you using? Your high vibrational being, what are you using? Your multidimensional being, what are you using? Your Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromedan, your gray, your reptilian, your Lyran, your insectoid. You're the bird people. You're the felines. You're the dolphins. You're the cetaceans. What are you drawing out? What are you activating? Everything within you and everything without is consciousness, and you're activating it. Make no mistake. That brings magic and miracles and majesty into your life. Consciousness is everything. That's why you're going to know those that are aligned and those that aren't. Because consciousness sees things, the improbable, the impossible, and it becomes real. You're infusing love and light and consciousness into everything that just simply looks like it's not anything. Of course it's everything. Consciousness is everything. Draw it out. How can you infuse love? How can you infuse something new? How can you infuse the new Adam Eve story into your story, Scott? What does the Adam and Eve story mean to you now? If you do a couple of days of journaling and just allowing source light, if just allowing your higher self, just allowing those stories, I see 2 experiences for you, Scott, that's going to come through if you do what I'm asking and your higher self is asking of you. Because you have experiences that are meant to be shared for the Divine Masculine and rewriting the Divine Masculine Adam story and your version of the Eve story. The impressions and the imprints that a divine feminine and a child, a divine female and a divine masculine child walk with, the imprints of divine feminine masculine are very subjugatory, discriminatory, very, very corrupt, and very imbalanced. When they come onto this planet, they walk with those imprints. And every single human being, through their healing process, through the realignment of their chakras, through the realignment and healing of their lineage, energies, and belief systems about divine feminine, divine masculine, dogmatic, staunch belief systems, imbalances, misguidances, misdirections, misappropriations, all of those things that you are taught in a lifetime through dogma, through family, through social systems, everything will be rewritten. Because women have been erased. The Eve was a very negative imprint on the collective, and that wasn't the intention at all. Jesus was one of the few masters that was absolutely so pure and rare in his balance of his masculine and feminine energies that his energy as it left the planet created a rip and a tear in our timelines that has now since been healed through a lot of our grid work that we've been doing over the eons. It's taken that long. Over 2,000 years to heal. Wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, Spirit. Symbols everywhere, like thousands of crows. And as I was just talking about Jesus, the resurrection. So that's just how we heal. So you're going to come up with these profound, when you're drawing it out and when you're writing, when you're actually writing something, Scotty, there's something there for you. So please, I've got goosebumps everywhere. So please, Scotty, please, your teams are saying, they're getting excited for you. So you're going to be a part of whatever this means for you, right? So look into that. I'm also getting some throat chakra stuff. So you're going to be speaking about it in somehow, some way. So that's how you heal the collective, because you're showing and you're expressing and you're putting new imprints and you're putting new stories. Know that this is the new divine feminine story now. And you can, as a male, speak on that divine feminine perspective. Say, no, this is what I was shown in my house as what Eve meant to me. This is my new story about Eve. You bring it into the now. You bring that 5D experience into the now. That's how you become a profound 5D creator consciousness. I'm giving you very profound free tips here, dear lighted ones. $200 an hour is what I charge. These are free, benevolent tips for you to become a conscious creator with God. This is doing the work of a conscious creator. Sit and allow Spirit to be with you, speak with you, write with you. And thank you, anybody that would like to make a donation. My links are always in all of my videos. Because you will notice yourself become a master. You will notice yourself start to clear away the densities in your chakras. That your throat chakra was shut down because you weren't supposed to talk about that stuff. Well, who said? Whose rules are you going to follow? They don't matter anymore. There is no order in that. The lower vibrational order is not there anymore. Higher vibrational heavenly order, 5D order is there. Our jurisdiction is the heavens, period. So walk with that every day. My jurisdiction is the heavens. I will be supported. I will be protected. This is my truth. That's how you change creation, dear lighted ones. And every corrupt experience will be lifted. Because you say so, the universe converges around you. And why? Those that are going to continue to work in those underground experiences, they will see karma tenfold. Because they're not understanding creational law. They're ignoring it. They're spitting on it. Okay, well, good luck with that. Okay, see you next lifetime. When you draw it out, it makes sense. That's the logical simplicity, refinement of Source. Source wants you to go forward creating. Be high in your benevolence of creatorhood. Who said you weren't? Stop giving your power away. Reclaim it. Take a deep breath. Ground with meaning and intention. I am that I am. Say I am that I am with power, and let your M's roll. Let your M's roll. I am that I am that I am. And with that M and you let it roll, you'll feel things clearing off of your chakras and off your field. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Say it with variations of tonality. Say it with variations of happiness and joy and singing. Conjuring love and conjuring light. You are the Holy Christ. Who said you weren't? That is certainty, dear lighted ones, and nothing can touch you. That is walking with certainty. I am a God of this realm, and I will create in the benevolence of the heavens. You've practiced being 3D. You understand what you put out comes back to you. Now we're going to level up. Who are you? Write down those basic core foundations that have held us back in subjugation. The Adam Eve story is one of the most core experiences that have been a part of creating corruption. Been a part of creating the underground sex trafficking and the imbalance of divine feminine being nowhere to be seen in any of our creational stories or leadership. And how is that a balanced experience for humanity? And what is your perspective and energy on that? What's your expression on that? Heal your family lineage for the divine masculine and the divine feminine, because you both have those energies in your experience. You both have experiences that you will come forward and you will start writing out those experiences that are healing as you write it out. That's why we say, write it out. What I say is very tangible, dear lighted ones. What I say is Christic information. They're coded. What I say is coded. It will help you become a master. That's why I know what I know. I am Joanna. I'm a big deal on this planet, and I can help everybody heal if they so wish. So share my videos. I am a divine creator, and God has placed me in that authority. I've practiced. God puts me through so much because I will go to any realm, to any dimension. I will timeline jump. I will do whatever it takes to serve God, because I serve God and I take a knee. And I apologize for every transgression that I ever burst out in my own anger and frustration about how ignorant people can be and how degrading people can be on sacred life. And that's what I have to get over sometimes, because I'm being very truthful and very honest and very vulnerable with you. As being a leader, there is great corruption and ignorance. And it makes me feel so very sad, because I too was a child that was abused. And I was a wife and a friend and a person in a community that felt I gave nothing but unconditional love and healing and highest vibrational informations that have never been touched down on this planet. And I was spit on daily and taken from in ways that nobody could even understand. And on top of that, when I did speak up, I was called crazy while they kept taking my money. So, oh, ones that are in those systems in which you tested me to see if I was truly who I said I was. I'm here and I'm alive. And God will be the only one that will tell me when it's my time to go. And I've been on 10 different timelines in the past 3 months. And I'm working with energies on all realms because I've earned it. God has placed me with that authority to assure that I can discern the heart space of anybody that comes before me. Is it truth? Do you wish to be a part of oneness because you love yourself so much so that you deserve the love of God? Do you deserve your love? Can you sit in bed tonight, dear lighted ones, and place your hand upon your divine sacred heart? And can you say for one moment with pure loving intention, the Divine Mother and the Divine Father that has birthed me through every dimension and every direction and every realm, I pray to you in this holy solace moment. I just want to feel better. Can you please help me through whatever it is I need to move through, to make right, to be joyful, to express myself in joy, to express myself as the positive, loving being, to help this planet with promise and hope and new tomorrows and new excitements to heal. We're not meant to feel guilty. We're not meant to feel shamed. We're meant to come forward in a higher version of who we are, and my light activates it. Can you help me see higher? Can you help me create a new higher perspective for humanity, that anybody that has ever been harmed, I can help them heal? Anybody that thinks they're not worthy of being forgiven, you are. Regardless of what you've done the last 10 years, the last 10 lifetimes, you are loved and you are forgiven, if you so choose, but you have to choose forgiveness. Choosing forgiveness, which means that you are able to see yourself as unconditional love. Take a deep breath. Breathe slowly. When you activate God, you must breathe slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Go deeper. Feel your hand move deeper into your heart. Take a deep breath. I call in the light of Mother and Father God. Move into your heart space, move into your heart space, move into your heart space, move into your heart space. Holy Divine Creator, I wish to know myself and to feel myself and to create myself as love, unconditional. I love myself. I love myself. Please help me see, forgive, and feel myself as love. I forgive myself for anything that I have done, anything that I have said, anything that I have acted that has harmed or hurt another. Please allow me to see my ways so that I may be a loving part of oneness. And I will show you in every day and every hour that I choose to see myself as love. That I choose to bring myself in higher vibrational healings. That I choose to express myself in my spirited voice. That I will never give my body away in shame or guilt or less than. And I will never surrender to lesser programs. That I will treat everybody as respectful divine beings before me, because they are, because I am. I choose to see myself as angelic and celestial and human, because we are. I choose to see myself as a part of the planetary healing, because I am. My story counts. My life counts. My vibration counts. And I forgive everybody from my past, from my present, and whatever may be in my future, because I deserve to feel love. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Lots of heart clearing there. Clear out your heart. You deserve love. Doesn't matter what you've done, you are not your past. Right now, you can work with God to clear out everything that was in the past if you so choose, but it has to be from the purity of your heart, because you want to feel love. You want to feel the acceptance of who you are. That's God's wish for you. Not to glorify God and place God somewhere separate from you. Every breath within you is God, and God will activate your heart, and God will change you and turn you into something that is so mushy and enjoyable for humanity. What's wrong with being mushy? What's wrong with somebody stopping and saying, my God, I just want to tell you how great you are. I didn't tell you how much I love you today. You've done so much for me. Oh my God, you've helped me see so much. I'm so grateful. You've helped me see who I am and who I can be. You've helped me see those arrogant parts of myself when I've been so stubborn. I didn't say sorry. When you can be vulnerable and honest, you allow others to see that you can be an authentic leader. And that's what this world needs. Authentic leaders. Those leaders that come forward that just radiate light. And their light may trigger those that don't want to face their darkness, that don't want to face change, and that's okay. But those authentic leaders will still bring forward promise. Those leaders will still bring forward high vibrational codes. And they will know that they've been through it too. That's being authentic. Taking the masks off and saying life for what it is. We've got the most profound experiences that each and every one have a part of rewriting. How is that not the most profound experience ever? Every system within our social world is going to be rewritten. Entire governments are going to be turned upside down and rewritten brand new. Every light worker is going to be needed. If many of you have a big business background, you're going to be needed to bring 5D business into new experiences. So rewrite your life into 5D. You've got a lot of great experience. You've got your experience that can say, this is what I went through as a child. I'm going to bring it forward in new ways. I'm going to start writing this new Adam Eve project. What do we want 5D Earth to look like? What does Adam Eve look like? And as we said earlier, what they were showing me today was that the Adam Eve was that juxtaposition is now Eve is being placed in her rebalancing experience. Thousands of years of those negative imprints of divine feminine being completely taken out as unjust and unfair experiences, as if we're not contributors to life on this earth in most multidimensional ways. But now the divine masculine is having to face their imbalances that they've created, which is the part of that underground corruption, because it's all been about the domination and the enslavement and control. And they've been imbalanced and distorted in their experiences because those were the dominating experiences from those early imprints. And they're brought in many different forms because, again, everybody in their soul blueprint has different themes that you're vibrationally meant to clear for your lineage, for your ancestry. You know, especially if you have a lot of Catholicism in your lineage, to clear those Adam Eve stories for both parts, divine feminine and divine masculine. That clears your karma. The simple things like that, you can work on your karma. And you can show God, no, I'm going to talk about Adam Eve today in a different way. That's clearing your karma. That's putting 5D energy out there. No, we're balanced. We're one. We all get equal partnership in creating life. We're not going to have any more negative imprints about Adam Eve. We're going to create these new versions of our new earth, you know, Bible, if you will. And nobody's going to have power over any. We are equal. All animals, all life, all insects, all nature, all beings, all elders, all children, all women, we're equal. That's the new earth. And do you want to be a part of it? You have gifts, you have talents, write it out. Draw it out. What's your story? Who are you? And every day you're going to tap into something different. You might tap into an alien version of you. You might tap into, you know, as I've talked about many times in my visions, the amphibious beings from different planets. You're going to start drawing things you've never seen before. Draw it out. That's your family. Those are your lineages. So how can you judge anybody before you? You're drawing your amphibious beings that don't look like anything we have on Earth. And I've done lots of drawings. If you go back on my, no, I did it in my events, my live events. I have slides of the many beings that I'm shown in my visions and in my sight. And, you know, they're explained in my books as well. And that's why you have your gifts. So start drawing it out. That's how you activate yourself as the Christ, because you're multidimensional. If you want to sit down and have an hour of your connection with your teams and your higher self and your soul, say, I'd like to connect with my Pleiadian teams. I'm going to draw whatever comes to me. I'm going to write down whatever comes to me. I'm going to channel spirit in whatever way spirit comes to me. You might have a channeled experience through the dolphins. And you're going to hear this beautiful vibration of song in your vibrational field. And it's sitting in your field because it's been there. You just were turned off to it. It's like turning the radio station. If you were tuned into superficial, you know, 3D reality, you were directing all of your energy on somebody else's page. If you were directing all of your energy on somebody else, you had all your energy spying and stalking on somebody, you're missing a whole version of you that's trying to wake you up. Turn into your radio station. It's not about finding a soulmate. It's about you. Where's your radio station? Start talking about these higher vibrational things so that people stop worrying and putting 90% of their energy into finding a twin flame or soulmate. It's not about that. Those beings will be placed before you as you know the tuning of your own station. Who are you? If you have no idea who you are, you will not be placed before a soulmate. You just won't be, because you haven't prepared yourself. If you have no idea who you are, you cannot stand in your truth, you will not meet your soulmate. Part of meeting your soulmate is to ensure that you're not going to be wishy-washy back and forth with the divine feminine, the divine masculine, old world ways. We're 5D now. We're moving into 5D. That's why you have to move from 3 to 4 to 5 in clearing away those beliefs, clearing away those limitations, clearing away those attitudes and perspectives that thought you were better than another, that suppressed and depressed and took from people when you had no right to. That's how you know you're ready for oneness. That's how you know you're ready for a mate. If you have no idea who you are, you don't spend any time alone, you don't spend any time working on very important stuff like Adam Eve Project. It's the core issues of all humanity's imbalances. So if you want to get really wild and look at things on a bigger perspective, look at our videos, because we offer you grand perspectives of what we're healing as a collective. Because your sacred trinity is you. It's you and your higher self and your guides and your teams, and it's you and your collective and you and Gaia. That's the sacred trinity, and you never escape that. That is working within the laws of one. What you do affects the planet. What you do affects nature. What you do affects lifetimes of nature and animals and water and breathing and the air and the forests and the soils. You have stuff that you've left yourself on sacred lands that you haven't even got to yet. That's how multidimensional you are. You have your teams and your collective that you work for. Everything you put out affects the collective. That's your sacred trinity. It's you, the heavens, you and your collective, and you and Gaia. Make no mistake about it, you affect everything. Are you in for the ride? It's not just about you anymore. That's when you start healing those lower vibrational ego experiences because you were so wounded. You wanted to keep yourself safe and hidden like that little child that was wounded that never wanted to come out and play, except to target and bully people. That's a valid experience. It's valid. But if you stay there, you're going to have a lot of dark karma. So choose, draw it out. If I stay and give out hate, what will I get back? Do the infinity. If I give out hate, what will I do? If I give out spell work, what will I do? You're not going to be supported anymore and you're not going to be protected. That spell work coming back. Doesn't matter how many protection spells you think you're placing on yourself. Universal laws are universal laws. Universal laws don't change just because you want to play in selfishness for a little while. Okay, but we are still one, still going to have to face it. Who are you? Now all the hate is spewed, now what? Now who are you going to be? Now that 8 million spells have been impaled, now what? I'm still here, still alive, now what? We're going to get to healing now? We're going to get to inspired higher paths? Are you going to be a part of the oneness ride where you actually get to be a part of creating newer stories? Where you get to be talking to children generations down the road and you actually get to be proud of your soul's story? Yeah, this is why I'm here. Look what I did. I was a part of doing this for humanity. I was a part of doing that for humanity. And you see all of these celestial hybrid children sitting down and reading and talking about and creating and co-creating with your very important soul story because you chose to be courageous enough to come out of your darkness and your selfishness and your woundedness and never harm another child or never harm another divine feminine because she spoke out in truth. You chose to be a part of balance. You chose to be a part of truth and positive change, not protesting. You chose to take yourself to a higher level, and you're going to be a part of that writing. Are you in or are you not? That's oneness, because you make a difference. And if nobody's told you yet today, you make a difference. Do you choose to be a loving difference? Or do you choose to be the catalyst that tries to trigger people because you choose to still not face who you are? Oneness is oneness. Everybody before you is you. Those that walk with a lot of support and love, those that walk with a lot of protection and love, it's because they accept all energies and all entities. The lower realms work with me. The higher realms work with me, and the middle realms work with me. I respect and love all energy and all beings, and I will not be degraded any further, and I will not be taken from any further. That's energy, where all is God. And you understand and you respect the basic universal laws. Right use of free will and non-interference. Don't interfere with anybody's path. And if you see something going on in your community, in your home, in your neighborhood, speak it with truth and the valor of your light. Speak in the valor of your light. Look up what valor means, draw it out. And again, we want to get away from the 3D dictionary. When you go within, your teams will show you what truth and valor mean for you. What does valor mean to you? Valor means that you are going to divinely stand within the grace of who you are, as truth, as honor, as sacredness, and you will walk with a gentle step because you understand divine feminine and masculine energies absolutely in balance. That's valor, knowing that you can be soft when it's needed and stand pure, strong, and pure, empowered in your light. Just because you choose to walk with this gentle and soft step doesn't mean that you're not strong and powerful. The most powerful people are the most gentle. It takes nothing to knock anything down, but it takes a lot to create. That's what mastery is. So give yourself those loving challenges. Allow yourself to be the benevolent being of who you are. Allow yourself to be that version of you, of divine experience. And when you're getting the chicken skin and goosebumples, when you're getting the God bumples, that means spirit is as absolutely aligned with you, and you are aligned with your higher self, and you are connecting with spirit. That means you are channeling. That means spirit is speaking to you and you are speaking to spirit. That means that radio station has just got tuned in, that radio station just got tapped in, tuned in, and you're on. That's what the goosebumples mean. That's what the God bumples mean. That's why your body reacts to spirit. The body will react to spirit too if it's a negative energy. So again, discernment. When you're walking in your power, when you're walking in your strength, you're reclaiming your light every day. You're clearing your chakras. You're cleansing your fields. You're sealing your aura at night. You're sealing your chakras at night. That means you respect your chakras. No, nobody's going to touch my chakras. Nobody's fucking with me. My consciousness is my consciousness. I've earned it. It's my consciousness. Nobody has the right to touch my consciousness. You weren't invited. No approval. Out. Stand in that knowing. Teach this to the children. Nobody touches their bodies. Nobody touches their light. So that all of the corrupt agendas about how they're going to herd humanity and what part of humanity is going to be swayed and what part of humanity is going to be taken advantage of, that's not a question, because that reality is you're on a totally different timeline. Vaccine timeline, you're on a totally different timeline. You can choose a timeline where there's no discussion about vaccines ever. You can choose that timeline with such certainty, with such clarity. We are talking clarity. This is how you do your healing at night. Every single clear chakra, clear, visualize, imagine, breathe. Breathe the clarity of your choice. I choose to be in a timeline with no vaccines, where there will be no synthetic experiences going into a crystalline body and messing up the children and their DNA and their ability to reprogram their health and reprogram themselves out of a genetic disease. Your uncle had epilepsy or dementia, so it doesn't mean you have it. You can rewrite it, recode it. Clarify. Be clear about your intentions. Work with it daily. That's being Christic. Draw it out. Draw it out. You're Christic. That's the sacred word of the day. I am Christic. And I'm a being of power and light and love. And every moment I choose to be a part of oneness. Because you can, because you will. And anything that is out of alignment and anything that's showing that you need to be integrated will face you. It's all about oneness and wholeness. Everything that is before you is to be integrated. And if there is the continuing stories that are karmic that are facing you, it's because you're now clearing those stories out, and God will show you many times. I've had these conversations and God will show you when you're ready to take on a new level. God will say, you're going to show yourself that you've transcended those experiences, because God wants to show you, take a look back and see what you've done. You've created a lot of great stuff. You've transcended all of those hurdles. God wants you to take a look back and celebrate what you have accomplished. That's why you're going to face experiences over and over and over again. It's not because you have to keep learning the same lessons. God is going to keep showing it to you until you say, wow, I'm going to celebrate that. Look what the fuck I did. Oh my gosh, I created that. Especially for people like myself, when it's just constantly you're thinking about the greater picture and healing all of the world issues, and there's a lot of them. So God wants to bring you down to the moment of, wow, look what you just transcended. You transcended a 2,000-year lineage limitation or curse or hex, whatever you want to call it. And that's why it's really, for me, kind of, I see the bigger picture and I see, things that are very unsettling. Those energies in our collective, with dark magic cults and Masonic groups that use rituals and sacrificing. Sacrificing is a very, very dangerous experience that you place upon your lineage. And those that basic common courtesy for human treatment. Sacrificings don't do anything but implode, and they absolutely put darkness and dark curses on your lineage that you will come back timeline after timeline after timeline until they're cleared. So you're gonna come back. You either clear it now and do good and do right, because you're just going to be going to those lower vibrational timelines where you're going to be working in the same karmic mess. The children don't deserve it. Nobody deserves to have those constant enslavement, domination, low vibrational curses. And I feel so compassionate for all of those people that we've been talking about these things for 2 years. Over 2 years we've been talking about, over 2 years God has been warning everybody. Stop doing the curses, stop doing the spell work, stop doing the hexing, stop doing the voodoo, stop doing the rituals, stop doing the sacrifices. Because there is no more warning. And it's going on to the lineage. And every person that is born under that lineage, no matter how many partners they share, will have that curse. That's why it's very important for you to wake up every moment. You affect everybody. Are you so fucking arrogant that you're going to do a black spell on somebody and think that you're not going to face what you've just done? I see what it looks like on the lineage. I don't understand that level of arrogance and hate. I don't get it. Underground will be upper ground. It has to. Nobody wants to keep being born into lineages where you have to deal with the same curses and hexes again and again and again, and your bodies are diseased every time you're born. That's just a part of the curse. That's what living in hate and sending out hate does. You will be born in the next body, in your next lifetime, with a diseased body or a paraplegic body. Those are those curses and those hexes that you think that you're sacrificing and sending to somebody else. That's about the misunderstanding, the misguidance that these underground corruptive experiences and these groups that think they know what they're doing, they don't know what they're doing. They're bringing in so much darkness to themselves. And any timeline that they go into, because they will, they have to move through their timelines until they clear their karma. And they're given moment for moment right now to clear their karma and get right with Source, with creation. Who wants to be born the next 10 timelines in a diseased body? Who wants to put that on their children? Do you see what I'm saying? Are we awake now, spirited people? The level of disconnection that I have experienced in what I've gone through with just my one experience, it makes no sense that people are so selfish and arrogant to do the human testing, to do human trafficking, to do any type of spell work in any way when they don't have permission and they're just doing willy-nilly spell work. They have no idea the dark energy that they're placing on their lineage that will have to be cleared. And it will be cleared in their body, in their mind, in their abundance, in any way that Spirit says enough is enough. We've told you 8 million times, stop doing harmful spell work. You don't have that right. And it will be placed on the lineage, and it will be placed as a curse. And everybody that is born into that next timeline, into that next body, you will not escape it. You will not be born rich and sitting in your fat chair with all your little girls and your little hookers and whatever it is that's important to you in your superficial life. That's where you have to get real, these underground corrupt experiences and the selfishness that goes on in our social systems. Whatever anybody does for money, whatever anybody thinks is important for money, that is the darkness that they will drive into and they will be born into if they're not clearing it now. Now. We're talking right now. We're 1 month away from the end of the year. There's no more fence. The fence isn't there. The matrix isn't there. Every corrupt experience is being pulled up and it's being faced, and the belly of humanity is being looked at. Everybody has a belly. Go into the belly and see forth that is your experience about oneness. This isn't to scare you. It's about to show you your power. And it's about to empower you, to inspire, empower, and encourage others around you. This is a planet on a journey of oneness. It is. They're not going to go away. That's a fact. We've been on this ride since 1987. We are meant to integrate into the galaxy. Everybody on this planet is a multidimensional being of light. They have celestial, alien, galactic, antoid, insectoid, reptilian DNA. Everybody's got every type of DNA. I teach those activations so that you can tap into it. You can harmonize those soul fragments that had you in very dark shadow, had you very in deep parts of envy and jealousy and competition because you have a lot of wounding about your no sense of self, because of a lot of programs and the brainwashing and all of the dark stuff that you chose to be a part of. So you can't run from it anymore. You got to face it. Whatever is a part of that Adam Eve project, whatever part is that Adam Eve story, whatever is a part of the dogmatic systems that makes you think you're better than others, or you want to keep running the competition game or the jealousy or envy game, whatever those 7 experiences are of negative energy, they call them the 7 sins, but they're not really. It's just a part of you healing your karma. That's why most people didn't understand when the Bible was written. It was written in a 3D consciousness about people that didn't understand their multidimensional bodies because they didn't understand multidimensionality back then. They just wrote things the way that they saw things and the way that they saw that in their 3D dogmatic experience of how a civilization and back in the olden days looked. They used words, but it isn't really what it meant. It just meant how you clear your karma is through those experiences of negativity, of placing jealousy and envy and all of those things that create negative experiences. That's why the 10 Commandments were created. Those were kind of creational laws of the creational reality. What you put out is going to come back to you. Are you sure you want to create that? And if there is wounding, that's what those 7 experiences of negative energy are, negative karma. And then there's those that seek cults and covens and groups to make them feel important, to give them that false sense of importance, that false sense of entitlement, which is just illusory, because those are just falsely organized groups that like to cycle in separation and dogmatic dominance and enslavement and all of those things that occur. They're still wounding. They're groups of wounded. That's what that is. It's a group of wounded people that like to spiral around in entitlement and enslavement and dominance and bidding of importance and all of those things. That is the underground that has to be purged, pulled up, culled up, and every leader that is not connected with their higher self will have to be a part of healing. How are the healers of today? How are the leaders of today? I ask you this, because you're going to be the ones that are going to help assist in healing this. Take any leader of the world today, and if we're bringing up the corrupt belly of humanity in every underground, in every corrupt experience, in every country, in every city, in every way, because we intend to have a planet that is not corrupt. We intend to live in oneness. We intend to live in purity. We intend to live where everything can be healed. We intend to live where everybody is abundant. We intend to live where every child has food in their belly and a safe home to sleep in, where they are protected and they are guided by people that care about them. That is New Earth, dear lighted ones. And everybody has a free will to speak and express and experience and explore themselves as whole. That is New Earth. And we will be integrating with the heavens of every realm, of every dimension, of every planet. That's why we are practicing New Earth. That's why we are practicing oneness and unity. That's why we are looking at our behavior and our beliefs every day. And you have a chance every day to say, what am I going to work on and clear this out so I can live in a beautiful, happy experience? Get happy and excited about experiencing yourself as new and powerful as a creator. Creating New Earth today. I'm creating New Earth today. I'm creating my new body today. I'm creating my new health today. I'm in line with my celestial teams. I'm in line with my galactic teams. I see my light ships follow me everywhere. I'm connected. I'm tapped in. That's being a part of oneness. That's being a part of a balanced experience where everybody is served and everybody receives. There are no ones above and others. There is equality and fairness. And Gaia will be finally balanced. She will not be raped and sold off to the elites that just want to take more and have more. You tell me, and then you're musing, any of the leaders that it comes into your view and your perspective, any of those leaders, and you pose these questions to them, how are they going to heal the affected and the abused and the trafficked children and the women and the people working in the underground? What is their answer? How do we get every child clean water when there is so much poverty and yet there is so much wealth on this planet? Our planet is so wealthy. Do some research, look it up if you want to be a part of oneness and you want to find out where your gifts and skills are and how you can be a part of healing humanity and bringing humanity to new loving light. Can you be a part of bringing clean water to every child on this planet? Can you be a part of being your story and expression of healing humanity? Can you live in a higher version of you to know that your energy matters, your vibration matters, your voice matters? What are these leaders going to say? And how are they going to create multidimensional healing? I've been through an infinite number of abuses. I know how to heal multidimensionally. There's nothing that we have in our systems now, nothing that can heal what I went through. What will they say? What will Mr. Biden say? What would Elon Musk say? What would Mr. Clinton say? And Mrs. Clinton? What would the Clintons say if you were sitting down for dinner with them and you talked about your traumas and your abuses and what limited healing systems were available? And then you told them about our channel. And you said, do you know about multidimensional healing? Because they were a part of being on Epstein Island. And everybody knows what Epstein Island was energetically intended for. As much of the underground. It's not rocket science. What would they say? Every single one of you is a profound contribution to God's divine plan. You have a soul blueprint that spans planets, beings, species, light ships, cosmos, galaxies, interrealms, interdimensional. You're far more grander than you ever gave yourself credit for. Why would anybody want to be a part of an underground experience that calls you so limited and sacrifices sacred life? And why would you want to place that mark on your family? Everything that you do in goodwill, because it's a part of your heart, because it's a part of your passion, you're devoted and you're disciplined to being passionately you. You want to feel good today? You want to feel exuberant today? You want to feel alive today? You want to be a part of that Christed experience? You want to say, yeah, I'm going to express myself today. That is changing the world. That ripple of just me being me. I'm going to express myself in my fullest today. I don't give a fuck who says and who says what or does what. No, I'm standing in my truth. That sends a ripple all the way out to the Plutonians building. Wow, what'd you just do there, Joanna? Wow. That's how you affect the world. You affect animals on the other side of the world. Did you know that? When you're gentle with love and life, and you're gentle with energy, and you're gentle with animals, and you're gentle with people, the animals feel it and the animals become more gentle. We will be on a planet where animals won't eat animals. They will all be vegetarian, even the lions. Because we've chosen that as our consciousness. There will be no degradation of life. You don't have to eat anything or anybody. Consciousness is consciousness. If it's a dog-eat-dog world, that's how the world consciousness will be. Our hearts pulsate oneness and unity and love and divine loving unity on all levels. All children will be fed and held safely and loved and valued. They will not be harmed. There will be no sexual underground. There will be no more. People will not be bought and sold as toys to the unhealed that choose not to heal when they absolutely could be spending some of that money on healing. How much money was spent on me in 1 year on spell work, when that money could have been redirected into healing? Maybe even buying a house. Do you see what I'm saying? Directing your energy from here on out is so important. How you intend, how you direct, how you focus. That's how you create. Are you a part of oneness and unity? Do you know that you affect people all around the cosmos? You're showing the cosmos. Are you ready for ET interaction and integration? Are you ready for assimilation with our galactic families? Because they're going to say, we've got a planet that's just going through ascension. Do you want to come and do a mission with us? Scotty, you're going to be one of them. You're going to be going through a planet that is just going what is called their industrial revolution. And they're going to be wanting, because you've been through the process of ascension, you've come up through so many challenges of healing your soul fragments. You've come up through so many experiences of what the Adam Eve project was. They might not have Adam and Eve because they might not have religion on their planet. They might not have a thing called the Bible. But because you can see things from a higher perspective, you know that unity is unity. In a humanoid body, there are chakras. In a humanoid body, there are multidimensional fields: physical, mental, emotional, causal, psychic. They have a higher self. That's why you're called upon. Are you ready for that mission? Can you be ready to offer service? Yeah, I got this. Wow. I didn't think the Galactic Federation even knew me. Galactic Federation knows everybody that's on the line right now. Everybody. Many of you are working on light ships every night that you go to sleep, and you are healing your body because you have a mission here, and you have been so superficially focused, you have forgotten who you are. I come to activate many of you. That's why I can face the darkest of the energies, because God knows I can go anywhere. And a lot of people underestimated me. They thought I was stupid and I didn't know anything, and they thought they could run circles around me. I know what I know, and I know what I see. God shows me. I know creational reality. I'm on light ships, I'm on dimensions, I'm on timelines nobody even has a clue about. I'm healing grids. I'm healing timelines. I'm healing species. I'm healing oceans. Who are you? That's being certain. I know who I am. I am a teacher and I'm a healer. And I'm meant to be lifted, and I will receive. That's divine feminine taking her place. How does it feel? We're soft and we're loving and we're nurturing. And we will love anybody that comes before us. But we will no longer be raped. And we will no longer see our children being raped and taken advantage of. This is Gaia, and I am her voice. There are many ways that we can create heating and experiences of moving about the planet that does not rape her. She is out of balance because of us taking those resources from her. We're rebalancing, dear lighted ones, and it might trigger you, so draw it out. We are meant to be profound in our voices. We're meant to love everybody before us. That's oneness. Just as the Pleiadians, just as the Andromedans, just as the Arcturians, just as the Lyrans, just as every being that will be landing on this planet in light ships, meeting you in your bedrooms, meeting you in your dream times, meeting you in the forest, meeting you wherever it is that you've chosen to meet your beings and your celestial families, and they will be standing before you. Will you accept them? Or will you do dark magic and spells on them because they're different or because they offer a unique version of light? Why do you think so many of you practiced on me? Why do you think God allowed it for just a little bit of time? Because God is also testing. The Galactic Federations are testing you. Are you ready for a higher version of truth? Humanity. I was brought as a test. Galactic Federation was watching everybody. I carry a lot of celestial and alien codes. When I speak, I offer celestial codes. My field is filled with celestial energy. I see magic in everything. And I'm going to be expressing my most unique and authentic version of who Joanna is. And it's going to be like anything that I've never experienced or expressed before. And we're going to bring such light to this planet. My being here was a test. Can you love anything that is which placed before you that you have no idea of their divine destiny and the elegance of what God has chosen? Or do they have to prove themselves, and will you put them through human testing until they're no longer able to stand? Will you trust that their codes are divine and celestial so that you can be activated in your highest version of you, just by the soft and loving words of a higher truth that seems so unimaginable but is so very true, that when you go to bed tonight and you wake up tomorrow, you'll be a little bit more of yourself, because just me being here helps clear your fields of limitation and lack. You're a profound multidimensional being, and I'm here to remind you. I was sent here as a test. Can you love and allow all that is before you, the version of godliness, beyond what is taught in a Bible or a church or a book? Because God is all things, in all ways, brought in the time that is needed. Because celestials and aliens and galactics, insectoids, cetaceans, the oceans, the forests, and the trees that I speak of, that is the Christ, that is the God, that is the essence of all that God is that Jesus spoke of is. That is my word. I speak of a unique God and why I was brought here. to carry on the same cyclical story, to take your minds and your hearts and your vibrations elsewhere. You are so far beyond what you were ever taught and shown. Can you stretch your imagination to know that you are from all planets and all versions of you? Can you see yourself as 8th dimensional, 9th dimensional, 12th dimensional? Can you see yourself as pure light? Can you see yourself as an alien? Can you see yourself as an insectoid? Can you see yourself as a version of the divine mother that has breathed you and gives you her milk every night so that you can be nourished as a sentient being? Can you allow the thing that is God to be these things and more, dear lighted ones? I was sent here as a test. Who are you? Can the version of the purity of God be something new and exciting and profound and very clear? And can that being be in a divine feminine body? And divine wisdoms that go to the 12th dimension and far, far, far expanded? Can that be? Of course. Why not? God is everything. God is all things. And the Galactic Federations were watching everyone. As I radiate and emulate the excitement for first contact, and I talk about the light ships, they are my friends, they are my light, they are my family. They are with me everywhere I go, and when I sleep, there they are, watching over me, bathing me with light. And I go on excursions when I sleep at night, and I'm healed at night. I offer divine light codes, dear lighted ones, to help you remember who you are. Take a deep breath. Lene manakesha nanakara de kai namakara de cases yana makara de cases yana makara de kai namakai de kesha makara de kai namakara de kila nakara de kai nakara de cases yala ina de gara la ina makara de kai na ira ama. You are divine and you are sacred. Why play small? Judge not, dear lighted ones. You are all things and all beings. Start practicing integration. Call it in and accept anything that is before you that you are triggered. Get to the bottom of it, draw it out. What is triggering me and why? Who am I? You are vast and you are loved and you are always forgiven. Every time you are triggered, draw it out. Who am I? Then you will start to see within 3 days, and this is my word, within 3 days you will see yourself transmute into a master. And every day you will get more masterful at seeing yourself within creation. I am that I am. That is what that means, dear lighted ones, that you are active, participating, engaged within creation as the Christ. I am that I am, and I affect all that is life. Let's start celebrating, dear lighted ones. Are you ready? Celebrate, dear lighted ones. That's why you're here. Be of joy. You have a beautiful planet. Visit her. Sit with her. Give her an offering. Thank you, Holy Gaia. Thank you for feeding me. Thank you for feeding the children. Send out prayers every night that every child have water. Divine order. Every child will have water. Every child will be taken care of. Every child will have a home to sleep in. Why is that not a thing everybody should be praying for every night? I know what it's like to be without a home. There should be no child on any street that doesn't have a home. And I sit and I cry and I bellow to the heavens. Why is this a thing? I was sent here as a test, dear lighted ones. Are you ready for oneness? What will happen when a Pleiadian's before you? Will you strike out with black magic because you don't like the light that they emanate? Will you send them voodoos and rituals to tell them to go away because they see a part of mistruth that's in you that they're activating you to face? Face your truths. Face your shadows. That is your light. Where the darkness is, light is. Face it. It will stay dark until you face it. And there will be more like me come along as another test to show you, are you ready for your light? I'm clearing away that which is before you that is dark, that said you are not. Yes, you are. You are all things. Isness is isness. Is it not? How could isness not be isness? That's God. God is not in the heavens. God is all experience. God is. Engage, interact with experience. It's consciousness. It's God. I was a test, dear lighted ones. Are you ready for first contact? Are you ready to bring the planet into healing, where all children are loved? Where everybody on this planet has a voice, and everybody on this planet has the right to be healed. Freely, dear lighted ones. Whatever thought of a planet that had free healing? Who could imagine a planet with free healing? Wow. Share our videos. Share our channel. There's no reason why this channel should be suppressed. The Federations and the heavens have seen much over my life story the past 10 years and how I have been treated. They've learned much about every soul on humanity. And if we're ready to change our systems from selfish and arrogant and degrading to unified and one and collective, every person plays a part. Will you accept the Christ in a divine feminine as she steps forward? Will you accept the Christ in a little child, or will you only see the Christ hanging from a cross, being beaten and bruised? Is that how you want to remember the Christ? Was that the Christ's message? Was it the discrimination that put him up on that cross? What does the cross simulate? What does it simulate? Stretched from limb to limb, what does it simulate? Discrimination taken from the center of his being. For he was not accepted for the purity of who he was. He was speaking divine truth, dear lighted ones, far beyond what anybody on earth in their dogmatic systems said that he should be speaking. And they disregarded him and they threw him. And they spat on him and they banished him from every city he walked in. I was a test, dear lighted ones. How did you do? Do not feel guilty, for you have all been forgiven. You've all forgiven a long time ago. I am a high vibrational being, and I always have been. And I'm going to be more and more like me. I'm a being of magnificence, and I'm a being of great healing. Who are you? I'm here to remind you. Stop playing small. Reclaim your power, reclaim your light, and be love. You are here to experience yourself as love. Can you do that? Every moment, can you be love? Whatever is before you these holiday seasons, sit and just emulate, radiate love. With intention, I choose to be love. Everything before you, infuse love. I choose love. I choose forgiveness. I choose to clear my karma this moment, and anything that I have been placed on my timeline, in my lineage, any lineage, and any experience of these grids, I erase now, for I am love. I am that I am. I choose to erase any negativity, any black magic, any spell work done now, now, now. And say that with grace. Say that with knowing. Or not. You walk into it, your next lifetime and your body. It's your choice. That's how much God loves you. You learn either way. Whether you awaken to a body in a next lifetime that is diseased or crippled, you will awaken to your fullness. That's why you choose the things that you choose. Choose it now or choose it later, you will still choose it. Everyone returns to source. There is source. There is no greater religion than source. Source is source. It's how you breathe. Source is the light on the planet. Source is the light in the trees, in the water. Source is everything and everywhere. Source is never not with you. Who said it wasn't? Who said that the source, the mother and the father, the equal balance of divine feminine, divine masculine, the essence of that which is our galaxy, who said that any one was greater than the other? Who said that Pluto was greater than Venus? Who said that there was a competition between these planets to ascend? Who said that one planet's doing black magic while another planet does light work? We need the light and we need the dark. But are you working within the universal laws so that you're not taking on lineage karma? So you're not going to wake up in a body that is diseased, or you're not going to wake up in a body that you see your children diseased. And you have to feel the pain of their discomfort every day. As an empath, as a conduit, I feel that. I feel the children that have been abused. That's why I'm here, to transmute those energies for those children that have been forgotten and unheard. And I bring them forward in very truthful experiences. It needs to be spoken about. You affect everyone. When there's things going on in the collective, don't sit by and watch people get harmed. Stand up. Speak the light of spirit. Spirit will protect you. Spirit will align you. Spirit places something before you because you're meant to act upon it. Because you have the wisdoms. You have the courage. It's about positive action and integration now, dear lighted ones. From here on out, positive action and integration. Will you be empowered? Will you be inspired? Will you be encouraging? Of positive, powerful change. That is 5D grids, dear lighted ones. And they will remind you, your grids will remind you as you act and as you walk within this certainty, your grids will reverberate it to you. You belong here. If you belong to the 5D earth, that earth will sing to you, and it will heal you as you walk, and it will know you as you walk, and Gaia will show you the reverberations of as she gives you the flower, as she gives you her nectar. That, my friends, is consciousness. That is why you walk as you walk, and people like me are brought forward to remind you that you are one with all things. You affect all things, and she will be effective to you if you so desire in great respect and great honor and take a knee. That is oneness, dear lighted ones. Challenge yourself within this week to take a knee, to see what it feels like to be completely humble, to the love that is spirit that will wash through your inner body and open every one of your chakras. And erase every entity that has ever been attached to you because of your negative mindset about who you thought you were. Take a knee. Take a knee for everybody that you have harmed. And say a prayer of goodwill and the divine order. That's how you become one with who you are as a loving soul, because your soul knows that you are love. It's just been trying to remind you in every way and every hour and everything that is placed before you and every person that is placed before you to remind you, you are love. Now say it out loud with a breath. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Have your cells hear your voice. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Your cells are different now than 5 minutes before. I am love, I am love, I am light, I am light. Show your cells that you're honoring their function. I honor my cells. I honor my body. I honor my organs. I love you. Thank you so much. Everything within your body has consciousness. Now you're going to start reprogramming your cells to be of higher status. My cells, I love you. I want you to join me with the higher self on this new earth. Are you with me, cells? Are you with me? Have loving conversations as you have a bath. Have loving conversations as you have a shower. Tell your body, tell your fields you are cleared and cleansed. That you will not have your body abused any longer. That your mind is pristine and pure. It will not be abused. You will no longer hand over your mind, your choice, your voice, your energy to anyone that is not benevolent. Everything that is not magnificent, leave your body and fields now, now, now. Command love, dear lighted ones. Are you not worthy of this? Are you not worthy to have a clear body? And those that have sick bodies, you will say, yes, oh my God, I can't wait to get clear. Well, I'm showing you. That's why you create negativity, because you can create positivity. Sometimes you need the harsh path. It's not necessary, but some of you do. Just so you can wake up and say, okay, well, I don't want that disease. How do I manifest something pure and sacred? Get real. Get real. What have you chosen? How have you chosen to keep truth from others? Do right where you can. Forgive where you can. Let go every moment. Ascension is about the eternal letting go. Let go. Hang on to nothing. God will place everybody and everything before you as it's necessary and as it is due. And if you're worrying about what you don't have, take a look within the lack. Start rebuilding yourself as full and abundant. Nobody brings you abundance, you do. And you don't have to take it from anybody. You don't have to spellcast anybody. You don't have to fool anybody or steal it from anybody. Start wising up, dear lighted ones. You're far more intelligent than that. Unintelligent people thieve and steal. They don't know that they're connected to the universe. They don't know that they're connected to the abundance of all that is. And that's okay. That's an experience and an expression. There is no judgment. That is the difference between knowing and not knowing. Who are you? I know myself. I am abundant. I am within the abundant universe. Everything is abundant. Every child should have a home to sleep in that is safe, that is protecting, that is honoring. Amen. Every person on this planet will have a voice, will be safe, will be healed, will be freely healed. Every person on this planet is connected to their higher self and their guides. I see this for every human on this planet. I see that every human has safe and healthy food. I see that every human knows within themselves that they are so healthy and loving within themselves, they can become more youthful in every day they wake up. I see that humanity is so in love with itself, that is so excited to create new earth, that is so excited to create their expressiveness, that it has every excitement every day to create. Creation, creativity, creating, expressing creativity, getting busy with creativity, writing it out, drawing it out, painting it out, singing it out, dancing it out. Your birthright is to create. I see every person on this planet creating. Creativity is the highest form of evolution across the multiverse, bar none. That, my friends, is a universal truth. Why aren't you creating? Every day, make time to create. Every day, make time to be creative. Every day, make time to connect with your higher self, your soul, and your teams and your guides, and start channeling your art. However it comes through you, however you channel spirit. Creativity is your biggest and greatest tool to be healed. These are my teachings for human evolution. I was sent as a test, dear lighted ones. Have you been listening? Is your body vibrating? Are your chakras spinning? Are your hands vibrating? Are you alive? That is spirit, dear lighted ones. That's spirit showing you, yes, we're alive, we're creating, co-creation. Doesn't it feel good when you're vibrating with higher light, you're vibrating with higher codes, you're vibrating with higher possibilities? You've just taken your vibration from a different ecstasy than you were the time that you started. You're a different vibration right now, a different earth. Can you create this momentum? Can you continue? I can continue. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Let me continue this momentum. Boy, I feel good. I'm aligned. That's what the higher self feels like. The higher self will not let you sit in depression. The higher self will let get going. Let's get going. We got so much to create today. Let's go. Let's go, dear lighted ones. That's your higher self. That's how you know you're aligned, because it's exciting. From the belly. From the belly. And when you are misaligned and you're angry and you have things to work through, it will be the belly of the beast. That's what that means. Face that anger. Face that negativity. Face that darkness. But do it in a way that is absolutely not going to harm another. Bring that anger out. And say, yes, I'm going to express this, and I'm going to create it in a beautiful way so that I can seed new gardens. So that you're manifesting abundance instead of manifesting harm and darkness and curses for your entire lineage. Get into the pool if you feel angry and swim it out. Do 2 laps of hard swimming, hardcore swimming. Swim out that anger. Say, I release this anger. I release this anger. Please take it from me, Spirit. I'm angry that happened to me. Let me find a way that I can rechannel this energy. The water is very cleansing. There are lots of ways that you can deal with your anger, deal with your disappointment, deal with how you let yourself down. It's not anybody's fault. It's yours. You allowed that to happen to yourself, so reclaim that power. Allow that energy to be expressed in a safe and honoring way so that you create with that energy. You create with it. That's mastery. Create brilliance with your energies. Or not. Either way, it will live through you. And as a seer and as a conduit, I gave these free offerings 2 years ago, and I was warning people 2 years ago, stop the spell work. You don't deserve to wake up in a very diseased body next timeline. And that's okay. It's all lessons. Perhaps they will wake up now. Who do you choose to be now? Will you wake up in a loving and healthy body? And will it be okay if you don't feel okay tomorrow? Allow every moment to just be perfect and okay. God has a plan for you. Every breath, breathe in light, and breathe in love, and breathe in self-acceptance. That's enough. I love myself. I accept myself. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Recite every breath. I love myself. I accept myself. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I am open to your guidance. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I choose to infuse love and promise and happiness and excitement into this world, for these children are my children. This is my planet, and I love her. I co-create with Gaia. I co-create with the breath. I co-create with all humans. I co-create with the trees and with the nature. I co-create with all life. That is my promise. And I live this promise, and my children are served. As I live my highest light, all generations live their highest light. That is my very best. And God says, and your team celebrate, and your lineage and your ancestors celebrate, and the heavens celebrate, and they go to bed every night, and you are held in celebration in the heavens. And you go for these very beautiful dinners. You go for these very beautiful excursions, and they celebrate you for living in your truth, for reclaiming your light, for reclaiming your balance and your valor, to stand in your light when someone's trying to take advantage, and you say, no. No, I'm right in the new divine feminine. Divine feminine will not be taken advantage of. I will not be sold cheap stories. I will not sell my soul to you. Bow to no lesser gods. That's a test. I was sent as a test, dear lighted ones. And many of you have respected me from day one, for you knew the Christ consciousness within me. And I thank you and I bow to you. And one day I will wash your feet. And I hold you in the holiest. Every aspect of life is love. It's God. So love it all. Everything is perfect. Love yourself. Be free. Be expressive. Be creative. Love everything that you're going through. It's a part of you. Transmuting and changing and alchemizing. You are all that you are. Love it. Write it. Express it. Create with it. You are leaders. All of you are leaders. So be leaders. Be the leaders that are not there now. Be new leaders that incorporate inclusivity, uniqueness, and love, and kindness, and compassion. New systems where we are cared for and loved. Not sent away in jails, but actually healed, so that no other further generations wake up being wounded or harm others. We're better than that. We're higher intelligence. So I give you those challenges, dear lighted ones. Draw it out. Draw it out, and you will see within 3 days you are activating parts of your soul you never knew existed. And you're doing your own soul fragment healing in doing so and being so. So claim it, affirm it. I claim my soul fragments today. I am whole. I claim all that is before me today. I am whole. And I release that belief. I release that belief. I choose this belief. I am whole. Be self-designing. Who are you? Love yourself and love others. They're all God. Thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you so very much. And we thank you for all of these beautiful expressions. We love you so very much. Claim who you are as the divine holy light, because you are. Treat yourself with love and respect, and treat all others with love and respect. It's very simple. Anything that comes up, face it, own it, draw it out. Then choose a new belief. How you intend, how you direct, how you focus creates your reality. Remember that. What do you give your energy to and why? Let go of any outer focus. It's not important. Your focus right now is your inner realm. Inner and outer, as above, so below. That is self-actualization. Love it all. We love you, dear lighted ones, and we will say goodbye for now. And love and light, and look up to the skies, for they are your families and your friends. Integrate all that is before you. It's you. Ta-ta.